Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. My name's Keegz, and welcome to the WePlay Podcast number 38 on the 22nd of February 2016. Of course, my name's Keegz, and tonight I'm joined with Xenon.
That's me. Hello.
That's Xenon. And that's it.
That's it. It's just us.
That's all we have tonight.
Another intimate podcast. We haven't done an intimate podcast
Another...
for fucking ages.
You never look at me.
When we do these intimate podcasts, we should. I had this idea the other day that we should just have. There'd be nothing on the screen apart from a fire, and it's just sitting around the fire doing intimate podcasts.
Just reminiscing about the good times.
This is the news of the week. Yeah, so just us two tonight.
Yep. Being beautiful humans talking about games.
Mm-hmm. There's a fair bit of news this week. I didn't think I hadn't been following it as closely as I have done other weeks, but when I sat down and sort of, went through the last 2 weeks, there's actually been a fair bit going on. Not of it necessarily all of it's that interesting, but it's been going on. Yeah. News has been happening. The world's been turning.
Nothing super juicy.
No, there's not like last time when we had the bloody stripper scandal.
Oh yes.
You can't always have
good times.
You can't have strippers every week, is what I found.
Well, depends the kind of life you're living, I guess.
Alrighty. Let's turn up the YouTube chat. Bang. Okay, so if you've got any questions, tweet about us at Keegz or at Xenon_ST during the podcast, or leave a comment on below after the stream is ended, or you can comment during the podcast on chat, because we watch chat. So that's the bit that I say every week. The block of text.
Yes. So what are we going to talk about then?
What are we going to talk about? Unless you've got anything else you want to talk about before we hit the headlines, I guess we can hit the headlines.
Yeah, I haven't really had much happening this week. Nothing exciting anyway. Nothing newsworthy.
One big exciting thing happened to you that is sort of gaming related newsworthy. Happened to you specifically.
Oh right, yeah, about the fuck YouTube. Yeah, fuck them right in the ass. Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm over it already. Because I used to host these podcasts on my channel ages and ages ago. I think I had about 20 episodes or something like that. Yeah, when we were doing them weekly. But I must have pissed somebody off because they were community flagged, and I got a strike against me because apparently they are spam and unwanted content. And,
I wanted them, Keegz.
Yeah, now I've got 2 strikes against me. Yeah, they're like 6 months old, and they're being
more than that.
They're flagged as spam.
They're like they'd be more than a year old, wouldn't they?
No, I think I checked the last one. It was about 6 months or something.
Okay. Seems like so much longer
but,
ago.
Yeah. But yeah, so I've had 2 strikes against me now, which means I can no longer stream on YouTube.
Wow.
It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
And I can only upload 15-minute videos, so I'm kind of pissed off because I tried to appeal against it, and YouTube told me, nope, get fucked. Which was pretty much an automated response. I'm pretty sure they didn't even fucking look at it. Yeah, pretty angry about that.
So if you're not a YouTube partner, you can't actually.
I am a YouTube partner.
You are a YouTube partner. There is actually someone you can email.
I am a YouTube partner. Well, they didn't give me that option because I got. They sent me the notification as I signed in, and they said you have to re-sign in and accept this to be able to sign in anymore. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Right.
And then they gave me the option if you feel that this is wrongful or whatever, you can appeal, and you click the appeal button and you get 1 sentence to declare your defense. Then they review that and then they send you an email. And I got an email saying, we have reviewed this such and such, this claim, and we feel that our decision was just, and we're not appealing it, or we're not.
Well, you probably shouldn't have sent a single sentence that said, "Fuck you, YouTube. This is wrong. You are all bullshit, guys."
I didn't. I like both times. I said I believe this has been wrongfully claimed. I cannot see any community guidelines that I've justly done, because the first one said, it was the first one didn't even really give me what was wrong. It just said that this has been flagged. It didn't tell me why. It just gave me a link to the community guidelines. I looked through it. I'm like, there's no swearing. I haven't.
No swearing.
Well, sorry,
there is a podcast.
Sorry,
there's heaps of fucking swearing.
There is swearing, but there was nothing racist. There was nothing that was offensive. There was nothing that like targeted specific groups of people. And
except
I went through all their guidelines. I'm like, yeah, but that's a company. That's different. It's not like a specific race of people or anything. And if it's satirical, it's different. But I went through all the guidelines. I'm like, I don't think I've done anything against these, and I told them that. And they just refused that straight up without giving me a reason. Because I even said, "Can you tell me exactly what I've done wrong, so I cannot, so I'm not going to cross this again, because I don't feel that I've crossed any of these guidelines."
Yep. And
then the next one they sent me said that it was spam or it was spam, unwanted, or there was another one which basically said that people didn't want it there, and that I was deliberately sending people to a website other than YouTube, which really got to me, because I'm like, well, that's bullshit for one. I mean, yes, we're saying, hey, you can download on SoundCloud or whatever, but what about every big YouTuber that puts up a fucking 1 minute video saying, hey, I'm live on Twitch, or buy my t-shirts or anything like that? That's fucking bullshit. So I disputed that again, and saying that because it kept being community flagged, I told them I believe that I am being personally attacked with malice from this, and they disputed that as well and said, no, we're sticking with our guns. And I'm like, well, so fuck YouTube. They don't care about the smaller channels, they only care about the big channels.
So which podcasts were they? Because it was only two of our podcasts specifically, wasn't it?
It was 4 in the end.
4?
It was 2 for each claim. Yeah.
Oh my god. Think of all the content that YouTubers cannot watch.
Well, they can still listen on SoundCloud, but
oh, thank God.
I had to take them all down off YouTube. I set them all to private because I was worried they're going to keep flagging them. I was going to lose my channel altogether.
Yep.
So I sort of had to give in and put them down. Ever since then, I haven't been bothered. So it's only the podcasts that are getting targeted.
Sad face.
So yeah, now I have to wait 6 months until I can stream again and get the strikes removed. So, which I'm not overly. I was pissed to start with. I'm not so much now. I'm still upset that YouTube doesn't really care about the little channels, or didn't do it. Like they called me guilty before I even checked if I was innocent. But yeah. So whatever. I'll get over it, I guess. I mean, I didn't really stream that much. It's just annoying not being able to do it.
Well, I think it's also annoying not being able to have those podcasts. I mean, you've privated them all now. So basically, all the podcasts up until like 19 or 20 or something. Is that right?
Yeah, they're all gone. I mean, unless you go to SoundCloud, they're all gone off YouTube. But
yeah. So I had links to them in my playlist. And
more annoying part is that. Yeah, they're all gone. But the ones, the 4 that they flagged were straight up deleted. There was nothing I could do about it. They just deleted them. Oh, okay. Thanks.
Do we have copies of those somewhere? Because in the beginning, we didn't actually just stream straight to YouTube. We used to save them and upload them.
I've got all the WAV files. I've got all of the MP3s and stuff on my PC, and they're still on SoundCloud, but.
I wonder if I've got them.
But I don't have the videos.
Oh, I do have them.
But those ones... Oh, you do? Those ones weren't really videos anyway on my channel anyway.
Actually, no, yeah, I've got the audio. I don't have the end result video, I don't think. Let's play one.
Yeah. Because I went back through and... I think I downloaded most of them off of YouTube a while ago anyway to get all the audio out of them. Just so I could put them on SoundCloud, but Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You used to make
But yeah, still
make the video up yourself, didn't you? Like get the audio and just make the video.
yeah,
That's how it worked. Yeah, I remember.
yeah,
Back in the dark ages.
yeah. Back in the dark ages before I learnt all the new fandangled technology stuff.
Hey, Lampos.
But,
Yes, we're
yeah,
doing
still.
a podcast. There's only two of us. It's an intimate podcast this week, but we've got a fair few news items to cover. So, unless Keith's got anything else, I guess we'll hit it.
No, I've had my YouTube rant. I think I'm done now.
It may not be the last YouTube rant of the day. Let's go. Australian esports organizer. Oh fuck it! God damn it! Hang on. I have to fix this. Let me fix this.
Technical
autocorrect.
difficulties.
No, it's fine. It's just auto-corrected organizer with a fucking Z. What are we? US? No, there we go. Australian esports organizer fails to pay players. This is something Pugs actually gave us, and I read up a little bit on it. So it's the Australian Does Play. I think it's called Does Play. Organisation called Does Play.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so there's an organisation in Brisbane called Does Play. Actually, no, it's Queensland. I don't know if it's in Brisbane. That hosts free-to-play and paid gaming tournaments. They also have a subscription service. I think it's all like they don't do events like live in like a live events. They're all like connect to their server, play, see who wins type deals. Is that your understanding of it, Keegz?
I'm yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure they were just hosting a tournament or something in Australia.
Yeah, I don't know how many tournaments they've hosted. I know they aren't hosting anymore until probably August because the problem they've had is that they haven't been paying the people who won prizes. They were supposed to do an event in February, but they cancelled that simply because I suspect because monetary mismanagement. What else? What other info do we have?
It's not the first time though, because there was actually an Australian team, Team Immunity, a little while ago in a bit of a CS scandal. They also didn't pay their players, and there was a bit of a scandal about that. So it's not the first time it's happened in Australia.
I think it's because it's seen as a emerging market, like it's something that hasn't matured yet, at least especially not in Australia. So I think because there's not a lot of money in it, it's these sort of events are run by not shady companies, but companies that don't have a lot of don't have a lot of business sense in this sort of industry. So I think we'll get there. It's just we've got to put up with. This is not going to be the last scandal, but people haven't been paid. I would say before.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Before we're actually recognised as an esports nation. But what can we do? The director Does Play director called, I think his name's Rob Lineker. He pointed out that in the contracts that everyone agrees to before they play is that they reserve the right to withhold payments for longer than they advertise, which is they're supposed to pay within like 30 days, but people haven't been paid since like July, so it's been a while.
Yeah, it's not the first tournament that's done this either. There's been a few pretty big tournaments that fucked people over like this.
Just money mismanagement.
It's part of the industry, I guess. I mean, some people are shady. I don't know. I think some people are just fucking dodgy.
Well, it might be that they're just they're dodgy, but I think it's more that they've bitten off more than they can chew when they're trying to trade their way out of the hole they're in. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah, maybe.
Hello, Alex. You haven't missed much yet. We've only been running 10 minutes or so. So what else can we tell you about this? I don't know. It's from reading about what this guy's like. He sounds a bit dodgy. Like he's a little bit in over his head, and they're not. The part of the problem is that they're not communicating with the people who are owed money very well or at all. Some people have been saying that they've been owed money since like July or August, and they haven't heard anything. Like they've opened up tickets. They've been PMing people on Twitter, and just not getting any information at all. So.
I suppose that's usually the trouble, is just trying to get it sorted, because usually, they just don't want to talk about it or just disappear.
Yeah.
Especially if they're dodgy people, they just fucking disappear into the woodwork. And
Well, the article that I
Let
read,
more
the
people
guy
off
asked him a
under
bunch of
different company
questions, but he kind of dodged around the meat of the question. Like
Yeah.
he provided an answer, but it wasn't an answer to the questions that he was asking. So yeah, it's a little bit dodged.
Sounds like a businessman.
Yeah, or a politician. Okay.
Yeah.
Next thing on the list is Kojima is coy about new game details, and I'd say extremely coy because the article I read had fuck all information in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was sort of just a brief comment. Like somebody must have just asked him something during an interview about something else and just tried to trick him into saying something, I think.
Well, he asked him 5 questions, and one of them was if his kids hated his beard or not. Not really game related, I'd say. So
maybe that was the first one, just to trick him into a false sense of security. Just be like, so what do your kids think about your beard? So you're having a new game, are you? Just jump on him.
I'm opening up
confuse him into answering questions.
Yeah. I'm opening up a packet of Pocky, and it's kind of all melted into one big glob.
What?
Ugh. There we go.
The hell is Pocky?
It is Japanese sweet candy treat. It's like this sticks of what do you call them? You get them in pubs, like pretzel. They're kind of like pretzels, but they're long and thin. They're like just straight pretzels. And they're about as long as your finger, and they're covered in chocolate or whatever whatever it is that they were, whatever flavour.
Yeah, like Scotch fingers.
Not really. They're a lot thinner than that. The problem is that this ones are left in the car a little bit too long, and now they're all melted together.
Oh no!
So I've got like a Pocky, a giant Pocky. It's the one Pocky to rule them all.
One giant Pocky. Sounds right.
Yeah. So basically, all he really said was this game was big and had lots of freedom. He said he's keeping to his game budget. He talked about his marketing opportunities, and the fact that Sony are giving lots of control, lots of freedom to do pretty much whatever he likes, which is pretty much what Sony really should do. It's like just shut up and get out of his way. I think is the
well, I think Sony realized that. Well, I think everybody realizes that this man can't do bad. Like he can do no wrong.
Well, everyone except his previous employer.
Yeah, Konami.
Fuck
Konami are old school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Konami are pretty old school when it comes to business tactics and things like that. Which is it's kind of a blessing in disguise. He's out now because now we can hopefully see his full force.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's going to make a better game or a worse game. I imagine he's going to make still a pretty good game.
Yeah, well, that's one thing. Like maybe we'll end up with the worst game he's ever made because he has no direction at all, like no limits. So he's just like, well, no, I don't really know what to do. I'm sure that's not the case, but you never know.
We'll wait and see. Should we move on?
We shall. Time will tell. Yeah. Okay.
Time will tell whether Kojima makes a good game. Time will also tell whether 360-degree 3D news channel from Associated Press will also take off. That was a.
I think that's an awesome idea.
You think so?
I totally watch virtual reality news. I really watch virtual reality YouTube videos every now and then. Not really virtual reality, but like the 360 ones where you can look around on your phone and stuff.
Yeah, I sort of like. I think we talked about this before.
I blew out the other day because I watched a lot of ASMR, like the sort of weird tingly videos. And one of them the other day was a 360 one. So I was sitting in my bed, like with the tablet watching it, and they sort of said, this is actually when the video started, I was looking at it really like it was looking at like the corner of the room or something. Like, this is kind of weird. Why can't I see who's talking?
Yeah.
And then it's like. Yeah, and it's like, oh, this is a 360 video. So I started moving around. I'm like, whoa, you can actually look all the way around the room, and the person's talking to you, and they're like, doing weird things in front of you. You can look around. I'm like, this is great and all, but I'm laying in bed. I don't want to have to turn around to look at what's going on.
That was one of the things I think we're going to have to sort of work out how, especially with phones, because you might be sitting on your bed or wherever or looking down. is like, how do you center it on the person, the subject? Yeah. On your computer.
I was even wondering, like, what do they mean?
Yeah.
I was wondering what they meant by it. Like, why do you need 360 news? Is it like a panel of people in a circle that you just look around all the people talking, or is it like would it be like if me and you were facing each other and we had a camera in the middle and they can just look backwards and forwards to who's talking, or just make it a bit more personal?
Well, it's kind of weird. Like if you have two people having let's say a debate or even just an interview, you have to turn like left and right to look at them like a fucking tennis match. They get kind of annoying after a while.
Do you know what I think?
What
I reckon, and I think we need to get onto this because I've just thought of a gold mine. Right, we have a news panel, right, with people, okay, in 3D VR, but on the table, and I'm pretty sure they've done something similar in Japan, but not in VR. On the table, it's covered in kittens. So as we're talking, you can look in 360 virtual reality at all the kittens playing on the table while we're talking about news.
These going to be actual kittens or 3D generated
gold
kittens?
Mine. No, actual kittens just playing on the table. So that, like, you can look around and see all these kittens and maybe puppies and stuff playing while we talk about news. So you got something to look at that's really cool and cute and keep you amused while we talk about games.
I have a question. Are these going to?
I think it's a brilliant idea.
Where are these kittens going to come from?
I don't know. We'll find kittens. Kittens are everywhere. You kick a bush, kittens fall out.
WePlay Podcast in VR, says Lampos.
Yeah. With kittens.
With kittens.
Don't forget kittens.
Have to be the VR kitten podcast.
It'll be the future, because then every news channel will have kittens and puppies on the news that you can look at while you listen to the news. Because like, not so much gaming news, although gaming news can be pretty depressing as well. But real news is usually pretty depressing. So if you got kittens and puppies, it makes it less depressing.
Spice it up with kittens and puppies.
Yes. Yeah, and yes, I do just want an excuse to play with kittens and puppies, even though I'm allergic to cats, but I love cats anyway. Just makes it harder to play with them.
Not allergic to VR cats, though.
Means I have to work. No, that's right. VR cats are different.
Well.
Yeah, we could get like one of those, like a Tamagotchi style, that just sit in the middle, and you can feed them and play with them in virtual reality.
Or
while we talk about news.
We could have the viewers feed them and play with them. Like interactive news.
Oh, that too. Oh, yeah, so each time they come back to watch, it's like a Tamagotchi. You have to, like, come back just to feed your cat, whatever. You probably don't give a shit what we're talking about, but you just come back to make sure your virtual pet's still alive. Virtual pets with news. Genius.
We stumbled upon
the way
a gold
we get
mine.
Kids coming and watching. Yeah, that way we can get younger audiences to listen to our podcast, even though they do not care what we're talking about. But, cats and stuff.
We could just even not be there.
I'm
play music in the background.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole new level. But we'll just work with what we got for now.
Mm-hmm. So Associated Press.
Try and patent that tomorrow. That's a brilliant idea.
So the article that I'm reading is that AMD is creating a 360-degree virtual reality news channel. It's like AMD aren't. What have AMD got to do with it, really? I mean, they might have equipment that powers the thing that records the video, but once it's recorded, there's not really much rendering required.
No, I reckon this must be some sort of promo for new technology they're working on or something like that. AMD VR cards or some shit like that. Who knows?
I don't know what's going on there. Yeah,
I've been to that website you're talking about, Rose, where you can do the cat toys and that. That's what I do at work. I don't actually work. I just play with kittens online over webcams.
This is what Keegz does during the day.
Yeah.
So they've got. I mean, I've seen a bunch of those the 2D, sort of 2D, 3D videos. They're okay. But I mean, they're a nice gimmick. I can't see myself actually using it in like a day-to-day video, really. Like, I don't see the point of it. I can look around. It's like, yeah, but the thing I want to look at is directly in front of you. So, I mean, what do you do?
The only thing that I can really think of at the moment that would be suited for VR, sports or esports and stuff like that. Because I've already seen a couple of videos of like CS:GO matches where they've done a 3D VR perspective of what's going on, so you can follow a certain player and you can watch all around them while they're playing, basically, like an old recording.
Like,
and I can imagine that might move.
Yeah.
Is what?
Well, I'm thinking, is it a cricket thing, or is it a tennis thing, or what? Is it a sports thing? What?
No, CS:GO. So like esport, Counter-Strike.
We can't.
But I'm. Well, not. Well, yeah, if you want to watch in-game, but this is more like on your phone, on your tablet, like on Twitch sort of thing, watching the actual game. But I assume that this is the kind of idea that they want to do with real sports, because I think I can't remember where it was. It was like at that gaming or EDC that was just here. Somebody was talking about it for Madden and stuff like that, or NFL in America. So you could actually watch the game sort of on a small scale, or almost like you're watching a miniatures thing on your table. Oh yeah, that's right. They were talking about that Microsoft HoloLens thing or whatever.
Yeah,
that's
HoloLens.
the sort of thing that they wanted to push it for that's the sort of thing they want to push it for in the future, is so you can basically watch the whole game from like, you know, a model's perspective on your table, sort of thing like that, which is kind of cool but gimmicky at the same time. But I can imagine some sports enthusiasts would love it, that you could just watch the whole field and see all the players doing what they're doing right in front of you, and you can be your own cameraman, sort of thing.
Like a watching a board game in front of you.
Yeah, basically, except it's like a live TV thing. Like you're watching the Super Bowl in a 3D model on your lounge room table, sort of thing. I'd probably enjoy sports more if I could watch it like that, just so you can see everything happening at once.
Yeah, I think there's applications for sports. I can't see a lot of applications for like news or
No, not so much. No, probably not. Although some things I can think of as like performing arts, like stage shows or operas and stuff like that. You could watch them the whole stage in sort of a 3D thing.
Yeah,
plays
I guess
and
so.
things like that. Yeah,
Fair
that'd
enough.
be kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, in this particular
yeah.
instance, the Associated Press making a news channel that's 360 degrees. I mean, like, why? I don't see the point.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
maybe
kind of
I'm
just a bit of a
wrong,
gimmick, but
I don't. Yeah, this is exactly what it seems like. It seems like a marketing gimmick. It's like, oh, AMD and Associated Press are teaming up to make a 360 degree. Yeah, I can't see this taking off. I might look at it if I see a video and go, oh, look, that's interesting. But then I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I might look at it too, just out of interest to see like what they do or how they utilize it.
Yeah, more from a technical perspective rather than an actual,
Yeah,
this will be interesting.
Yeah, because it might be something completely different, that they've just found an interesting new way of using 3D space or 360 degree video. But I'm not expecting much, but
yeah,
I'd be pleasantly surprised if
I can see applications for this, but you have to work to find applications as opposed to going, oh, we could use it in this way and this will enhance the thing we do every day. I don't think we need that.
Yeah. No, I don't think so either. I think we're getting close to that though. Like that people are going to find new and inventive ways to do it, just because these are all gimmicks. So people are like, well, how can we step outside of the norm and do something different?
Yep. All right, should we move on?
Yeah. I'm currently in a boss battle.
You're in a boss battle?
Yeah, I'm playing the Division beta.
God damn it, Keegz. Get your mind on the job, son.
Oh, you didn't notice?
You got one and a half podcasters here. Okay. Giant Citizen Kabuto successor has been canned. It was going to be called First Wonder, and I watched the video for it. It was obviously just like basically just a tech demo type video they had on the Greenlight page, and it was pretty rough, but I could sort of see the direction they were going. It sort of had the Citizen Kabuto feel to it, but it was, yeah, I can sort of see why this didn't work. It's just, it wasn't. Citizen Kabuto, if you're not aware of what that is, it was sort of this indie, not even indie, it was just this underground sort of hit that, I think it was a hit in like 2002, 2003. It was a really weird game. I think it was by an English developer, I think, Row Rocket Games, and so if you haven't played this game, it's difficult to describe to you. Go and look up some videos on it. You'll sort of see it's got really good writing, really good some pretty good voice acting, and the story was was quite good. So, Keegz, you had a question.
Yeah, I was just when you were explaining it, I don't think I've ever heard of this game. Like, I don't know what it is.
Probably because it was back in 2002, 2003.
Terrible.
Actually, it might have been even earlier than that. Let me have a look. I shall Google it. Let me Google it for you. Google Citizen.
I mean, I feel like I've heard the name, but I can't think.
We have discussed it in
what it even is.
We have discussed it on a podcast previously. It was a while ago. I think I probably discussed it with Photos. You can buy it on GOG, $13.99. It's December 7th, 2000.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so it was 16 years ago, so it was a while ago. I don't think it ever did really, really well, but it was probably one of their most popular games. And the new game was called First Wonder, and it had a couple of different factions, like the Cargonauts, and there was a big monster, as there was in Citizen Kabuto. And it was basically, it lent heavily on sort of storytelling and voice acting quite a lot. It was quite a funny game. So, the problem they had with it is that it was they were working too hard to try and sort of garner the people who bought Citizen Kabuto, and I just don't think there was enough of them. There was never enough of them. They didn't market enough to new people, like new players. So I think that's probably why.
What sort of game was it? Like adventure? Like
it was a kind of role-playing game. There was three different. You actually played as three different people on the way through. There was the. Oh God, I can't even remember. You played as Delphi, as not the Smarties. Oh God, I can't even remember. It was 16 years ago. I can barely remember what happened yesterday. But yeah, there's three different factions. You get to play as the big monster, the sort of the small smart guys, and the like this sort of elemental earth lady. And it basically went through a story where these guys were on their way to some sort of island, and they got shipwrecked on this planet, and they were trying to get the ship fixed or something, and they got stranded, and they got attacked, and shenanigans ensued from there. So it was a good game. Right. I'd actually probably like to go back and play it one day, but yeah. So the sort of spiritual successor to this was not really a sequel. It was more of just a like a game in that vein, by the same company that they had a failed Kickstarter. They failed with like $500,000 still to go.
Actually, that might be where I saw it, Kickstarter, because I remember the name, but I have no idea what the game was.
Yeah, I mean the game was good, but if you went back and played it now, it'd be pretty awful.
Pretty bad.
Graphically, gameplay, voice acting, I think everything would be pretty awful. So unless you played it previously, you wouldn't.
It's aged.
Yeah, it's one of those games I don't think it's aged very well. I will probably maybe go back and play it, but yeah, I don't think it's aged very well. Yeah, so if you ever played Citizen Kabuto, you won't be getting a successor. Which is a little bit sad, but there you go.
Yeah, I feel sorry for a game I've never heard of.
Asymmetric multiplayer. I think it did have multiplayer in the same sort of vein as Evolve, where there was a bunch of little guys and a big monster, that sort of thing. And there's also, I think you'd also play as Delphi as well. Yeah, but I don't remember. I don't think I ever played the multiplayer. I only sort of watched a couple of videos on it many years ago. So, shall we move on to Street Fighter?
Sure.
Street Fighter 5 multiplayer is super borked. Super borked. How is it borked? In many ways. Online connectivity is basically broken. Like, trying to connect to the server is, if you want to play multiplayer, like internet multiplayer, it's, from what I've read and what I've seen, I haven't played it, but from what I've read and what I've seen on both PS4 and PC, it's basically non-existent because nobody can actually get on. There's also been matchmaking issues. IDs have been corrupted after you do account registration, which stops you from playing. There's also been PC-specific issues like boot up and crashing problems. Yeah, there was also a bunch of feature problems, like Total Biscuit actually commented that there's no direct input support, which is what a lot of gamepads and special fight sticks use. He had to download a program which bound his I think he had a special sort of fight stick thing, and he had to download a program that bound that to keyboard presses, which he then bound to actions in the game, and he said it's super duper clunky. So go figure. There's also a bizarre issue that I only found out about today. If you want to change resolution, you have to cycle through each resolution in between the one that it's currently set to and the one you want it to be set to. So you can't just go, I want to set it to 1920 by 1080. No, you've got to set there from 800 by 600 to 1024 to all the in between resolutions, and actually go through them one by one. Which is
you can scale it all the way up.
Stupid fucking, like, who the hell? Somebody was asleep when that was designed, so. Yeah. Wow. Lampos says, what is it with fighting games on PC being broken? I don't know. Why is this the case?
So Mortal Kombat was fucked as well.
Yeah, so one of the
when it came to PC.
One of the things they laughed about was that hang on, what was it? Maybe it's direct input. Yes, so there's no direct input support. They had the X input or input X, or whatever it's called. The Xbox inputs worked okay. So if you had an Xbox controller, it was fine. But if you had anything else, it basically didn't work. So I think all of the third-party sticks all use direct input for their input system, or the protocol that they use to talk to the PC. Except for the Xbox controller, which uses X input or whatever the fuck it's called. So go figure. Yes, this is a worrying trend of games being released recently with pretty game-breaking problems. Like, these are games that aren't finished. Basically, they've been pushed out too early. These are games that need another 3 months of polish and bug fixing. Like, TB managed to find 6 or 7 problems just before he'd even managed to even play a game. Like, he had problems like the tutorial you can't skip, and also it shows you that when you go through the tutorial, it says, oh, press this to kick or press this to punch, and all of the prompts are the Xbox prompts, regardless of whether you're using keyboard. It doesn't matter if you're using a third-party controller, they're all Xbox prompts. So if you're using a keyboard, it says press Y to kick, and it's like, well, which one's Y? Do I press Y on my keyboard? No, of course you fucking don't. You press the actual key that was bound to kick. So, yeah, stupid shit like that. Games developers should employ me to find their fucking problems for them before they ship.
You're going to be a bug...
I'll just be a bug fixer.
Game tester.
Not even a good one. I'll just be like, yeah, this doesn't boot when I fire it up. You might want to fix that. That'll be $300,000.
You won't be a fixer, you'll be a finder. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm not really a fixer. I'm more of a complainer.
Yeah. I don't like this.
Mm. So this is news from the 18th of February, which is the day that was released, or the day after it was released. TB's article, TB's review went up, I think 3 or 4 days ago. He was still having issues. I don't know if they've fixed anything since then. Rose said the gamepad fight stick inputs have been patched, but I don't know how well that's been done, or if it's actually fixed the issue. So
you'd think of all the things you'd fight sticks would work straight up, considering that most people who are big fans of Street Fighter use a fight stick.
Yeah, I mean, and like just not supporting direct input, which is a major protocol. That, I mean, it's not so much a major protocol that all games would use, but fighting games is probably the one game genre in which you would want to have this sorted on day one. Like, yeah. So, but the main issues they're having is that nobody can connect to the server. I don't know if I fixed that, but I haven't read any news to the contrary. So I'm assuming people are probably still having issues. So, go figure. Who knows what's up with Capcom?
People. They haven't had. They had a bunch. Was it Street Fighter 5? Has been out for a while on consoles now, hasn't it? Because they had all those issues with.
No, I think it was a simultaneous release on PC and PS4.
Which is the one that was previously out that had all the problems with sexual content? No. It was definitely Street Fighter, but they had problems with sexual content with like Cammy and that. They patched it to get rid of some of her moves, but apparently that's been repatched now.
I don't think it was.
Well, there's a mod, to repatch that.
The pre-release, maybe that's pre-release stuff. I mean, it's been out since the 17th, so I mean it's been 5-6 days since then. Maybe that's what we were talking about. Because do we talk about this previously?
I don't think we talked about it previously, but I've seen quite a few articles about it. Because I'm pretty sure it's been out for a little while, because they had a tournament like last year, didn't they? I don't know. Whatever.
Street Fighter 5?
I might be thinking of.
I think it
might have been 4, maybe.
Else.
I don't know. How often do they release them? No, it's definitely Street Fighter.
Oh, Rose said that was a beta.
That was the beta? There you go. Right, okay, there we go.
Cool.
Yeah. I remember seeing some. I remember seeing people get pissed off about having the censored, or some of the stuff censored because it was explicit, or people kicked a shit about it.
Yeah, I vaguely remember talking about it a while back, but yeah, who knows? Yeah, they probably had a beta release for a while.
Yeah, because I definitely remember seeing people playing it. But,
yeah. Okay, so that's what's happening with Street Fighter 5. If you've got any more up-to-date news, I would love to hear about it in the chat. Should we move on to Quantum Break?
Yes.
Quantum Break is no longer Xbox exclusive. It's actually coming to Xbox and PC. But before you jump up and down and go, whoa, I'd love to play me some Quantum Break, you can only play it if you have Windows 10 and if you purchase it through the Windows App Store. So it won't be available via Steam, at least initially.
Quantum Break, is this COD? Is Call of Duty?
No, this is a game by the same people who made Alan Wake and Max Payne, actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
I actually know very little about this game. I hadn't heard about it until about a week ago. It looks interesting enough.
I heard the name, but I didn't realise that it was a I didn't realise it was anything to do with console. I just sort of saw it and assumed it was a COD or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or something similar.
Lampos asks, what's Quantum Break even going to be like? I actually have no idea. I've watched one video on it and I wasn't really sure exactly what it's going to be about. There's a guy doing some weird psychic explosion shit and he's got a gun and he looks a little bit like sort of a cross between Alan Wake and Max Payne. But yeah, I have no real idea. Rose makes a fair point. She said it was never exclusive. It was only press agencies said that it was exclusive, which is partially, well, it's mostly correct. I think
That's usually the problem, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think who was the makers of this game? Remedy Entertainment. They intimated that it was going to be Xbox exclusive without ever actually saying it was going to be Xbox exclusive. They sort of danced around it a little bit, probably giving themselves some wiggle room if it turns out that it either wasn't or was going to be Xbox exclusive. I think they might have said at one stage it was going to be Xbox console exclusive, or exclusive to the Xbox console, not that it was exclusive to PC, just to the Xbox and not coming out on anything else. So, make of that what you will.
Yes, but I think a lot of people start using this exclusive thing lately, especially with consoles and that, when it's actually not exclusive, it's timed exclusive, but they just don't release that.
Yeah, it's exclusive for an amount of time until they release it on other platforms.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a shitty business practice, but at the same time, until there's a big court case, or at least a big court case scare, and somebody puts the hammer down and says, no, you can't use the word exclusive if you're going to release it on other platforms. This is the there was a I'm not sure it wasn't INET, it was Optus or maybe AANet or ARNet. One of a large Australian ISP got basically got a slap on the wrist for advertising their internet plans. This is going back a few years now, as unlimited, when in fact they weren't. They were unlimited until the point where you got limited, and they got a big slap on the wrist for that, for advertising their plans as unlimited.
Advertising.
Yeah, basically false advertising. They were technically correct, but they were also misleading in their advertisements. So, yeah, they got a big slap on the wrist, and it's going to need to be something like that before we can, before we won't be able to use the word exclusive to mean exclusive to a particular console, but not PC, or not exclusive for a certain amount of time. So.
Yeah, timed exclusive, which pretty much everything is now, because they lose too much money being exclusive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think exclusivity is a stupid thing to do. And TB actually had a video. He actually did a whole video on this about the stupidity of having exclusive games, or releasing exclusive games. It turns out that he made a good point that it benefits no one. It doesn't benefit people who only have the console that you're selling it for. It doesn't benefit the people who aren't on that console, on that platform, and it also doesn't benefit the developer because they make less money. So yeah, it is silly. I can understand consoles having their own brand, like like Destiny and whatever the fuck Xbox has, and whatever everybody else has is the only real one I can think of. I know Xbox does. Oh, Halo, yeah.
But I can understand them having their own brand and whatever. And if it's one game, that's fair enough, because then you've got that fan base about, I don't know. It seems kind of silly now that I think about it, but still, it's a way of selling your new product because you have those people behind you that have always been playing that game.
The problem
for all the other games, it seems silly to deny them. I mean, I'm pretty sure Destiny is even available on Xbox now that I think about it.
The problem with having an exclusive title is that you don't open up your market at all. And that sounds obvious, but when you think about it, it's like, let's say I make a game and say, right, it's going to be exclusive to Xbox. Nobody who has a PC or a PlayStation is going to go and buy an Xbox to play it.
The only time that I can think of that is that when they bring out a new box. I mean, and that's when things like Destiny and that came out. Like when the new PlayStation's like, well, if you buy our newest console, you can play this in all its glory, and it worked. But I just checked in, and Destiny's available on Xbox now anyway. So it was only a timed exclusive. I think it was exclusive for about 6 months or something from memory. You could only play it on PlayStation. But then after that, obviously, they want to make money, so they sell to everybody.
That's the only time I can see a case for this happening, is when there's a new platform cycle just about to start, and you're trying to sell your new platform, let's say it's the Xbox 2, to people, and they're either going to buy a PlayStation 5 or the Xbox 2, and you're sort of like, well, if we make it exclusive, they'll have to buy ours. But that still doesn't help the developer at all. It only helps Microsoft or Sony. The developer really gets screwed.
Here's proof that exclusive games don't work. Does anybody remember the Ouya? Remember that? Remember the Ouya with all its exclusive games? That went well, didn't it?
Well, one I don't know if it's a case for it, but the Nintendo Wii is sort of like that, because the only games you really play on Nintendo are games made by Nintendo. There's not
well,
many...
I guess that's different though.
They are kind of a special case, I think.
Yeah, because they don't market their games to be sold on other platforms. They just make them just for Nintendo platforms. That's what they've always done. I mean, it's the same. Nintendo are in the same bracket as Konami, not in being cunts, but that they are old school. Like, this is ours. We make for ours. We don't care about anyone else. We're not trying to spread our brand. We are our brand, and that's all we want to be. Which worked for a long time because they had the fan base and somewhat nostalgia. But now it's starting to, drop off. I mean, the Wii U is, I wouldn't say dead in the water, but it hasn't done very well because because it was the last hurrah of that generation, where now there's so many young, there's mostly young generations now that are into different things, where
mobile gaming mostly.
Mobile is pretty much killed Nintendo, because Nintendo isn't that family entertainment system anymore. It's the old, that's what my parent, that's the uncool parent game that nobody wants to play.
I gotta sit in front of the TV, I gotta hold this controller. Oh god, Dad.
Well, so
this isn't the 2000s anymore.
What's that? Does it have Angry Birds on it?
Rose made the point seconds after I did, and probably actually seconds before I did, because she's 30 seconds behind. Nintendo can only really justify exclusive nowadays, or they're the only ones that can, because they own so many of their own IPs. So
and that's true. But even now, I mean, Nintendo must be starting to feel the burn. But you can tell that they're starting to reach into different markets. I'm pretty sure we even talked about this in the last podcast, like that zombie game, that they're not aiming at family anymore now. They're forcing themselves to aim at older generations, like Bayonetta. They picked that up off Sega, because Sega wasn't going to continue it, so they allowed them to do Bayonetta on the Wii U, and now they've done that Zombie U, or whatever the fuck it was called. So they're obviously, they've realised that what they were isn't working anymore, and they have to try and open their market to new and younger generations, or even older generations, to stay relevant.
Well, they basically just need to open their market to everyone else, because if you're aiming purely at gamers, or I don't even know what Nintendo's market demographic is. It's kind of like they have this low-powered console with a few really, really party-oriented games. Yeah, and it's sort of like,
I mean, I say this now thinking about it with a grain of salt, because Nintendo's Wii U is starting to drop off. The DS is going perfect, because that is a handheld game, like a mobile game. The
3DS
DS is still doing fantastic. Oh, not really. It's got a lot of new games coming out, and it's still popular. I mean, not so much. It's starting to pick up in Western. It's still very popular in Japan and sort of in Eastern
But the thing
countries.
is mobile gaming is basically killing the 3DS, because why have a custom built platform that you have to pay extra money for, when you already have a phone that does everything that the 3DS does?
Because I think the 3DS can stay ahead of that if they keep putting technology into it.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Wii U console is so far behind consoles now that it's pretty much irrelevant. Like you can't, it doesn't have the power that other consoles does to wow people anymore.
They never have. It's always been about gameplay with Nintendo consoles. It's never been about graphics power or it's always been about great games.
And I guess sorry to drink.
Yeah, we all heard.
I'm trying to think of the words on the tip of my tongue, but they're
too many drinks for Keegz.
This word has completely escaped me. God damn it!
Would you like to describe the word? Can I buy a vowel?
Their consoles have always been something new, like a new technology or a new ground they're trying to break.
They're always
which keeps them interesting. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. That's the word.
So they pay the big money.
But yes, that's right. That's why.
Well, they have always been innovative, but they've always been low power. Is the problem that they've had? It's always been low power consoles, but they've always been family focused, cheap, low power, but also innovative. Like for the Wii nunchucks, which is something that nobody I don't think ever thought was going to work until Nintendo went, well, this is how it works, and it worked. It didn't
even work. It didn't even work great. It was just fun and it was cheap. So you could say, well, it's cheap enough that this could be, it's worth a try. And you get it. Your kids like it. It's fun for the family. It's fun when you're drunk with your mates. It's just, I still pull out my old Wii every now and then rather than the Wii U because I can't be bothered buying games for Wii U because it's so damn expensive.
My Wii died.
Whereas the Wii, I can. Really?
I used to play Wii Sports.
I've got two of them in this house for some reason.
My favourite game was the tennis game. It's just called tennis.
Yeah. And the boxing, the Wii Sport boxing.
The boxing I could never get to. Like I sort of understood how it worked. It was never like when you punched it never seemed to be like responsive enough.
I will admit that it wasn't as good as the PlayStation's 2 iToy boxing. Me and my mate used to play the shit out of that when we were in college. There was a PlayStation 2 iToy game for boxing, and it was awesome. And you would be fucked after a match. Like it was really, it took it out of you because it sort of I guess because it doesn't have like motion control. It's picking up your fist moving through the camera.
Yep.
So the faster you can swing, the harder you could hit in the game, and like we would just belt into nothing, which was really dangerous in a lounge room full of other people. But by the time you'd done a match with a decent competitor against you, it took it out of you, man. It was good fun though.
I've never seen it, but it sounds like fun. Our PlayStation 2 died, actually, now I think about it.
Oh, really?
I've got a message.
Actually, I really liked the iToy. I thought it was great, but then, I guess the Kinect and all those have taken over. The PlayStation hasn't really kept up with those sort of things. I mean, I know there was a newer eye camera thing for the PlayStation 4, and there was one for the PlayStation 3 as well, but nothing really came out for it other than sort of a couple of kids games, but you didn't really hear anything about it. I guess the Kinect was so much more in front that they didn't really bother to try and go that way, maybe.
The problem was
but even then
the Kinect was dead. Like it really, it was like one of those things that really hyped up to be amazing, and it didn't work. The Kinect never worked.
Because it was quite popular with the 360 when it sort of first came out, and I think it was more popular with modders who would use it for other stuff on their PC.
That was the pre VR sort of revolution was having using the Kinect sensors to track hand motions and track head movements and stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw people who would do like real-time 3D models of their their houses and stuff using Kinects, and they robots would learn different routes, and so they were using them for all sorts of amazing things. So the Kinect was powerful. Just when it came to gaming, it was like meh.
Yeah.
Which is sad because you think like, of all things with this powerful technology, gaming would be a pretty good way to utilize it. But instead, it's like, well, your games are shit, but hell, look what we can do with this. We can solve mathematical equations and discover the laws of physics with your Kinect camera that can't do a fucking try and catch bananas in a bowl properly. You know?
Yeah. The Kinect was something that I think was far more useful to modders than it was to the average person.
The technology was great. The software that came along with it was terrible.
I think the technology actually wasn't even that great. It was too low resolution as a device to be useful for gaming, but people found much other uses for it simply because it was a cheap sensor that worked and could be used. Could be programmable. So.
Yeah, I guess so.
Shall we move on? Hang on, let's recap. Quantum Break is no longer exclusive.
Where were we? Oh, right.
Yeah, we're talking about Quantum Break. We've got it somehow managed to end up on Connect. So Quantum Break is not Xbox exclusive. They never actually technically said it was, but they intimated it might be. Turns out it's not. It's coming out on PC the same day, but only if you have Windows 10 and you're willing to buy it on the Windows App Store. It probably won't be coming to Steam. Probably. You never know.
Cool. I stopped playing The Division now too. I died in the dark zone and rage quit.
That's why he's talking so much more. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Prospect, which is a game we spoke about last time, which is now on sale for $10 US or 40,000 Australian dollar dues.
Shit, I better sell my house.
I'm gonna mortgage my house. So there's an official trailer, which I think was there before. But this is the Half-Life opposing force, blessed by Valve.
Successor, isn't it?
It's not really a successor because it's only made by one guy. It's sort of Valve gave it the
spiritual successor.
It's a spiritual successor, yeah. It's like Valve gave it the go ahead because I think they were never ever going to make an opposing force, 2, for Half-Life 2. But it's out now, and it's $10 US, and you play as Adrian Shepard, and it's basically, I think you follow the same sort of storyline as Half-Life 2, but I think you probably branch off at some point. There'll be points where you meet and go, oh, that's where we did this in Half-Life 2. I might even play it on stream, because it's one of those games that probably works reasonably well. Like, I played through the entirety of Half-Life 2, I think I played it all the way through it. On stream, so it might be worth a look. I might even Twitter the guy that made it and say, "Can I please have a pre-release copy, or like a pre-release, but like a free copy? I want to play it on stream for people."
I might give it a go too, because I'm actually currently playing through, and I'm going to make a couple of videos of it of Black Mesa, the remake of Half-Life 1
You're going to make some videos, but less than 15 minutes long.
Well, I've pretty much rethought how I'm going to do my channel now after this whole fiasco, and after the sort of warm reception I had from that Firewatch video.
Yeah,
I might get a little bit more artistic with my videos, so they're going to be shorter and more random.
Cool, sounds good. Yeah, so if you like Half-Life 2 and you're going, God, I wish there was a Half-Life 3, well, this is sort of like, not really Half-Life 3, but something to tide you over until Half-Life 3 never arrives. So that'll be fun.
Yes.
It's out on Steam, you can buy it. It actually had mixed reviews, which is not good, but it might be worth $10 US.
That's probably just from Half-Life fanatics, like, this isn't meta, this isn't following the fucking canon or anything. Just souls, really. I mean, for one dude to make this and people are, interested in it, what can go wrong? I mean, think about it now. Like, I played some of the old Half-Life 1 mods. Like, I played They Hunger, and what was another one? There was another one where you land on an island after your ship crashes or something. And they were awesome.
Kabuto.
They were, no. But
let's bring it around, all the way around again.
And these were just people making mods for Half-Life, and they were really, really good. I really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't pay for them, which is one thing. So but still, they were pretty good.
I'm just looking at the Valve reviews. Not recommended. This would have been an amazing mod. Sadly, it's $10 standalone game. Level design's not very good. 3 out of 10.
How long have those people played?
1.7 hours, 1.2 hours, 2.7 hours, 0.5 hours, 3.8 hours. In fact, all the reviews on the front page, which are the first 5, they're all not recommended. We load some more reviews here. Not recommended, not recommended. They're all not recommended.
I'm wondering if that's just because, considering their hours, maybe it's just a really short game. So it's probably not worth the money.
Maybe they got their money back before the 2-hour limit. Fuck, these are all not recommended. Right. I haven't found a single recommended one yet.
Yeah, right.
I've been through about 20, 30.
I might watch a video of it before I play it and just watch like the first 20 minutes or something and see why people are so upset.
Oh, I found one.
I can't imagine.
I found one that's recommended. I have no idea why people are so negative towards this game. It's not the latest installment of Half-Life. There's no reason to judge it so harshly. The only bug I could see was when the glass doors turned invisible. Yeah, like nobody's played this for more than about 2 hours. Oh, hang on, 5.2 hours. That was not recommended.
Jesus.
1.9, 0.6, 4.1, 3.6, 3.5, 1.2. Yeah,
well, maybe that could be the other thing too. Maybe the media has overhyped this as, this is the closest thing we get. Because one of the first articles I saw about it was, this is the closest thing we're going to get to Half-Life 3. I'm like, well, that's a tall order for one man to make a mod.
Yep.
So I think maybe people might have just been expecting too much, considering that, sure, $10 isn't much, but it is kind of a lot for a mod if it is just of short.
For a game based on technology from 2003 or 4.
Yeah, but in saying that, you don't have to buy it now. I mean, you could wait until it's on sale or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're missing out on the latest AAA release or anything.
Yeah. There's 383 reviews, so I mean, people have bought this game. I won't even look up Steam Spy and see how many people have bought it. Hang on. Steam Spy.
Yeah, I feel that maybe people have just expected too much out of this, and that's why they're getting a bad rap. In saying that, though, I haven't played it, so I can't be too judgmental, because maybe it is really broken, and maybe somehow the media have gotten onto this, haven't played it themselves, and gone, oh, this is the next best thing in Half-Life, yada yada, and then it's actually a piece of shit.
Holy shit! So it's moved something like 10,000 copies. This is only in 5 days. Mind you, the average play time is an hour and a half. The average user score, so scores from users, is 10%. The average meta score is 48. So that doesn't look good. I mean, take it all with a grain of salt, because this is all conjecture. Like all the Steam Spy stuff is largely conjecture. But that's not a good start for a game that I was...
Until I play it, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe it was overhyped.
Yep.
But considering that the average playtime is 1.5 with 10,000 copies moved, then maybe there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe
I mean, the guy...
it's not as good as everybody thinks it is.
Richard Seabrook, who's the developer, says it's around about the same length as episode 1 of Half-Life 2. Which I think was about 4
Which is what,
4 hours? Yeah, not very long. 4 hours, maybe.
Yeah, let's have a look at my playtime.
Let's have a look at my playtime. Let's have a playtime off.
The playtime off. You probably spent longer, because
I probably spent days in
there. Yeah, well, I probably just ran through the story.
Yes.
That was alright.
Half-Life 2 episode 1, I've played 13 hours. It's not as much as I thought.
I've played... Yeah, I can't even see.
Just click on the thing and it tells you on the front page. In your library, click on it. So you played X number of hours.
Maybe I haven't even played it on this account. I think I had it on a different account. Yeah, I don't think because I had I had another account, which I think Nate Dogg stole.
Goddamn Nate Dogg.
Yeah. So yeah, I have it installed mostly because I wanted the models and stuff for the Garry's mod, but Yeah, no, I haven't played on this account. I have finished it though. I can't remember how long I spent on it.
Yeah, I think it's about 4 to 5 hours if you play through it, like play through pretty much everything. But
Yeah,
it's
episode
fairly.
2 was much shorter, wasn't it?
No, I think it's about the same, maybe even a little bit longer. It's certainly my favourite game. It's like my favourite game of all time. Episode 2. I played the shit out of that.
Maybe I'm thinking about Lost Coast and that. There was
Lost
a sort
Coast
of
was
thing.
basically a tech demo.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there wasn't much to that. Episode 2, I've spent 20 hours playing. I've played that probably 4 or 5 times, I reckon.
Yeah, right.
Cool. Yep. So that's out. If you're interested, go and pay for it. If you're not, go and watch someone else play through it, like I will, maybe. Speaking of
Good
Valve,
terms.
sort of, they're going to implement a competitive Team Fortress 2 mode. Keegz, take it away.
Yay!
Talk all about this.
I don't know that much about it either because I only found out about it today. But apparently they've been working on it and they're putting it out in beta. If you want to be part of the beta, you have to go to the Team Fortress 2 competitive beta Steam group, sign up, and if you have purchased it pre-2009, pre-2011, before it went free to play, if you have, or if you'd spent money in the Manco store, and there was another, it's like their in-game market,
So where you buy hats
and there was and guns and weapons and all sorts of stuff.
Okay.
There was also another thing that you had to meet, but I can't remember what it was. But it wasn't anything too drastic. But yeah,
Oh, you had to enable
if you,
Steam Guard and put a phone number in.
that's it. The authenticator and have your phone number attached to it. So yeah, if you join that, then you may be randomly selected to try the beta. If you wish to, you'll get randomly sent an inventory item that'll give you access to the beta. But yeah, I'm kind of excited for it because it actually might make me want to play it again because I stopped playing because it was it's a bit too casual for me unless you wanted to go in actual competitive ladders and stuff. I think this might revitalize it. However, I'm interested to see what they do because the thing that I find with Team Fortress 2 is because it has such a large variety of weapons with abilities and different things like that, it's going to be quite hard for them to balance. So I'm assuming, this is just my vision, that it will probably be stock weapons in the competitive modes with limited amount of characters on each team. I'm assuming it'll be 9v9 because I think that's what most of the competitive ladders and that do. So you have one of each character.
Mm-hmm.
With stock weapons, and I'm assuming that it'll be ranked and yada yada, much like CSGO, because obviously I'm assuming they're trying to piggyback off CSGO and trying to keep it relevant.
Mm-hmm.
But the timing of this coming out, I think they might be trying to compete with Overwatch, which is also going to come out soon, which is kind of...
Currently in beta, but is due for release fairly soon.
March. It's coming out because I'm waiting patiently for it to come out. Because they are sort of jumping off the back of TF2 and pushing it into a new generation, a new future, with Blizzard backing them up. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad TF2 have actually decided to, hey, maybe we should add a competitive mode because that's what's been missing for ages.
So explain that competitive mode to me. Well, what will that entail in real terms?
Basically, set rules and ranks. So you'll be playing people of your own skill. So you'll have matchmaking where you have so many people in each team. You jump into the matchmaking queue, and it'll find people that are the same skill level as you and pit you against other people the same skill level. And as you get better and win more, you will slowly move up those skill levels. Which is the only reason I still play CS:GO and enjoy it so much, is because although the game is pretty basic, that idea that you can make yourself better, like you're self-improving rather than character improving, has more longevity than an RPG or anything for me anyway, because I'm just myself trying to get better at this game and becoming a higher skilled player, playing against other higher skilled player and just trying to move my way right up to the top.
I can see the appeal of that, but I don't see the appeal of competitive gaming at all. I mean, I understand why people like it, but it's not something that interests me at all. Like, even when I play Rocket League, I don't even play ranked matches. I just play regular peon matches, so you could get paired with pretty much anyone. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it's something that I think I always assumed that TF2 probably had and didn't realise that they didn't. So
No, it never had that. So TF2 was always casual. Like, you just joined a server and you were against whoever else. Some of them might have been super good at the game. Everybody else might have been shit at the game. So, and that's the problem with those sort of games. Unless you join a community or some out of the actual game client that can do matchmaking for you, then it makes it really hard. Because it is just a casual game where you're just joining and playing and enjoying the game, whereas the people who want to play it, like, learn strategies, work together as a team and really mesh together, don't have that ability unless they go somewhere else and it's set up for them. So and that's why Counter-Strike is such a big competitive game, and so much so that it's on esports and everything like that, is because it's simple mechanics, but it has a good matchmaking system where people want to get better at it. And I think if TF2 had done this a long time ago, then it might have actually been a pretty good esport game, because it has all the same observer modes and everything as CSGO, so it could have been good to watch, but because they didn't implement it early, I think it's missed the boat now, and now they're doing it now because Overwatch is about to destroy what TF2 is. It's just going to make TF2 irrelevant now.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Do you think Overwatch is going to kill TF2? I mean, my personal opinion is that it's going to spell the end for TF2. I mean, there'll always be people playing it because it's such a big game, but it'll go the way of the original Team Fortress, where there'll be a small hardcore element who still play on a few servers, but everyone else will move to other games like Overwatch. Yeah,
and like TF2 is a great game, and like I even checked when I started playing it to see if I was eligible, and I've been playing it since 2009. I've had it for quite a long time, but I sort of fell out of it just for the fact that when it went free to play, everything changed, and it changed really quickly, and I didn't like it anymore because there was too many pay, not walls, but there was so many new guns, and they started bringing cases and stuff like that, and it was hectic. Like, I didn't understand what was going on anymore. Back when I first started playing it, it was just, you had your set characters, you had a couple of different guns for each characters, and it was pretty simple. Now it's just ridiculous amount of different inventory items and weapons and stuff like that, I have no idea what's going on anymore. So, and that's why I think the competitive mode will have to be, it should be stock weapons, because otherwise people who are just coming into the game are going to be at a disadvantage, because everybody else has all these stupid weapons that they don't know what they do or can't get hold of because you have to pay for them. It's going to make it pay to win. And which is the same, like, bringing back to CSGO again, is why CSGO is still easy for people to come into, because there's no pay difference. As soon as you walk in, everybody has the same guns. Yes, they look different and they're worth different amounts of money because of the skins on them, but all the guns mechanically are exactly the same. Whereas TF2, everything is fucking different. Like, it's just wild.
It is one of those games that, like, you jump in because it's constant respawn. You jump in and it's just, you're assaulted. Your senses assaulted. Senses are assaulted.
Very fast-paced.
It's fast-paced. There's a lot of stuff going on. Unless you're in the swing of it already, you're going to be very quickly overwhelmed by what's going on, simply because nobody's slowing down and waiting for you. It's all just happening, really, regardless of whether you, whether you're there or not. So. And
I think that's why Overwatch, from what I've seen with the new beta and that, have done it already the right way, because yes, there's a lot of different characters have different abilities, but you can switch them out and you can learn them. So they've mixed the MMO style with the FPS style. But rather than having different guns and different characters you have to buy and unlock, they've already added skins instead. So you get case drops by playing more, which unlock different skins, which are rare and unique and stuff like that. Which is a way to go now. Yeah, which is a way to go now because cosmetic changes are quite popular, especially but more so on Valve games like Dota and that because they actually have a monetary value to them. I don't know if Blizzard are going to go that way and start a market or anything. If they could do, but it's a risky move. But that they've already gone the right way to it by just making it cosmetic changes, which at the moment which are just unlocked by gameplay, or I think you can buy cases and unlock stuff. However, the only difference with Overwatch is that it has a pretty heavy paywall at the start. Like you have to pay for the game, which is like $80. It's pretty expensive, or $80 Australian. I think it's even $80 US. I think it's actually pretty expensive. Which whereas TF2 is free. You just have to, if you want to get all the gear and stuff, you have to pay for cases and things like that. But it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yep. I smell the end for TF2, but they're probably not for a couple of years yet. I think they'll hang on. They'll be doing special. They'll introduce some sort of new modes or something new.
Well, they've already been doing that.
I know they have, but in the wake of sort of Overwatch upcoming, they'll try and head it off a little bit because TF2 has got to be a huge moneymaker for them. If for nothing else, just the hats.
Yeah, I don't think it's well, it might be, but I don't think it's as much as it used to be now. I mean, they've clearly already made a lot of money out of it to make it free to play, which they made free to play in 2011. So it was 5 years ago. It was a free to play game,
and that was
it's still going now.
Years after
and
it was
released. It's still having updates now. Like every Halloween, they have like a special update. They're still adding new game modes, still adding new maps, like all these. If you go to the website, there's like updates every week. So they're still very conscious about it, which is great. I'm glad they're doing that. And I don't know if I'll ever make a Team Fortress 3. I don't think so. I don't think they could. I don't think they could top what they have because you'd have to change it too much so that it wouldn't be Team Fortress anymore. So I think this is the end all of Team Fortress, is Team Fortress 2. I mean, they've updated the graphics and everything along the way anyway. So, but I think this competitive mode will be their last chance. If it doesn't gain some popularity and stay concurrent with the competitive mode, I reckon they'll probably give up on it and just let it do whatever it does now and probably start
they won't
slowly drift. Yeah, they'll slowly start drifting away, supporting it and stuff like that, and it'll just be like small updates and things like that, just for the people still playing until eventually it finds its grisly grave.
Still the number 3 game on Steam though.
Yeah, it's free to play and it's fun. Like I can understand why.
Having said that though, it's the current number of players at this moment is 44,000. Dota 2, 935,000. So not even a tenth.
Yeah, Dota 2 and LoL and stuff, all those MOBAs are just ridiculously popular.
Well, CSGO is still thrashing it, like almost 10 times the amount of players. So,
yeah. Well, that's probably right now because there's for one, there's a tournament on, and for two, they've just released a new operation, so everybody's back onto it.
It took them fucking
ages, but anyway.
Yeah, I was surprised. TF2 released in 2007. That's almost 10 years ago.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. It looked way different then too. Well, it
looked quite
not
different.
Really. Yeah.
Like the style of the same was the same, but it's more polished, obviously.
Yeah, it actually had quite a long teething thing when it first came out because it was quite. I wouldn't say broken, but it was unbalanced, and they didn't quite understand like what it was going to be yet. Mm-hmm. And then it was about 2008, 2009. It just exploded and it was hugely popular. I used to play it like every day. I loved it.
I don't think I've played grand total that I've owned, and I've owned it since 2009. I've played it for 74 minutes.
I played it for 300 and something hours.
You've played more hours than I have minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's second on my list for most played. Yeah.
Yeah, I never got into it. I don't know why. It's not a game that really interests me that much.
Yeah, I didn't to start with because I wasn't really, I wasn't hugely into FPSs back then. But then, then I sort of got into the swing of it and liked what. Yeah, it's my second most played game on Steam anyway.
Oh wow.
Around 360 hours.
I'd have played more Team Fortress Classic, I reckon.
Yeah, right. Well, CSGO is just thrashing the shit out of it though. In house played 1,108 hours.
They don't count the number of hours played that Keegz has played. They count it in months or years.
Yeah.
We played this
1,108
non-stop
hours.
for 7 years. No.
That's actually more than BF3 now, because I think BF3 I was only up to about 900 hours. So, yeah.
That's a lot of hours.
Mm.
It's a lot of hours to do anything.
Fun though. Yeah, I don't have anything better to do, so why not?
Fair enough. Alright, shall we move on?
Oh, I guess so. I need to pee though. Can we have a break or something?
We actually can have a break, Keegz.
Oh, yay.
Why don't you go and have a piss?
I will. I will go and have a unique Australian piss.
Alright, while Keegz is having a piss, I will... What shall I do? I could play some elevator music. Does anyone want to hear some elevator music? Nobody said anything in chat for ages. Either they're asleep or chat's crashed. Let's have a look here. I do actually have some elevator music that I have for just such an occasion. Here we go. It's probably going to blow out your eardrum, so I apologise. You might want to turn down your things. Probably get a DC May takedown for this. Never mind. Lempos just wants VR kitties. Fair enough. We'll see what we can do to make it happen. It would actually be really cool to have a... Let me turn this down a little bit. It would actually be really cool to have a kind of VR setup where you could join... I guess you'd have to have VR yourself in order for it to work, so that sort of limits our viewership a little bit. Although maybe we'll hit a niche market and become really popular. Where we're doing a news item where we have avatars and we sit in a sort of, on a couch and talk to each other about various things, and people could join and sit in the audience or do whatever they liked, really. So, yeah. I think there's a market for that, although it's probably technically it's a little bit difficult to do yet, and plus there's not enough adoption of VR technology in order to to make that happen. So never mind, maybe one day. What else we got here? Yeah, if you've got any questions, hit us up in chat. Otherwise, you can tweet them at us. Xenon_ST or at Keegz, and we'll do our best to answer them. It could either be about what we've talked about today, or just general questions about our channels, or about us in particular, if you wanted to ask questions about that. So,
I'm back from my great Australian piss.
What made you piss Australia exactly, Keegz?
I did it in the shape of Australia.
Oh, very nice. When I do it, it's always the ABC logo.
Even dotted Tasmania in there.
Fair enough.
Alright. In saying that, I may need to clean the floor up tomorrow. But onwards.
Drunk piss. Let's move on. The Division on PC is possibly limited by console development. Fucking consoles. So.
Consoles.
The consoles. The impetus behind this news article was a quote from an unnamed Ubisoft developer. It goes as follows. One good thing about the Division is I've always considered PC as a separate platform. I've worked on projects before where the PC versions are port from a console, so it carries those limitations over. But we've always been in the mind that we'll have a dedicated PC build, so it hasn't really held it back too much. And then there's the bit that the people are really getting up in arms about. We do kind of we do kind of keep it in check with consoles because it would be kind of unfair just to push it so far away from them. Which I think everyone took to mean we hold the PC version back so that it doesn't look much, much better than consoles.
I can say from experience that is complete and utter bullshit.
Oh, your wide experience as a developer, Keegz.
Well, no, my experience is in playing it. Even the beta, like, I will say right now, it didn't happen to me, but for 3 other people I was playing with, when they started the game, because they had high-end graphics cards, it defaulted their settings to 4K.
Right.
So then it's definitely not being held back by console, because console can only do, like, PlayStation will do 1080, the Xbox will do 900p. I mean, like, graphically it is definitely not held back.
So what you're saying is it's a good game, but what I think everyone else is saying is how much better could it look if it was a dedicated PC build, not in line with consoles?
It couldn't look any better. I promise you. Like it looks amazing. Like the graphics are amazing. I think I haven't seen the console build of it because I think from what I played, it would have to be less on console because it wouldn't be able to handle the things I've seen.
So what do you think?
Especially the people who are playing in 4K.
What do you think the developer meant by we do have to kind of keep it in check with consoles because it'd be kind of unfair just to push it so far away from them?
I think it meant mechanically in gameplay in ways like, because this is a cover shooter. You're running from cover to cover. Aim is fairly average. I mean, I don't think you would be limited on a controller compared to the mouse because the bullet spray is so RNG. Like you can't tap heads or anything because it's just spraying everywhere. And I think that's what they mean is that on PC it won't be a skill-based game like FPSs or third-person shooters can be on PC compared to console. And I think that's what they mean by keeping it in check because graphically they definitely haven't kept it in check. Graphically, it's incredible. It's probably the best looking game I've seen, well, in the last couple of years. Right. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe controller-wise. That's the only thing I can think of is just gameplay. They might have drawn back a bit.
You think that it might be held back by controller...
I think controller versus mouse sort of thing.
Limitations on controllers, basically, like auto aim bullshit, and introducing bullet spray rather than being able to headshot somebody. Yeah, like because you can't. Yeah, like I said, you can't one tap people unless you're on a sniper rifle or something like that. Right. And maybe even with AI difficulty and things like that, there might be a bit of a. Because I found it stupid easy, even when I was playing just then. While we were talking, I was trying all the missions on hard, and I was still talking, just walking through them. But I don't know what they mean by that, by keeping in check with consoles. Maybe they're just keeping a level playing field or something. But it's definitely not graphics. I wanted to do some Ubisoft bashing, and you've shot me down. How can I bash Ubisoft if you're putting up well-reasoned arguments?
Oh, I've got gripes with this game that we'll talk about later when we talk about the games we played. But graphic-wise, it's fine. Gameplay-wise, I can't see there being much difference between console and PC because it's not a game that could be. It's not a game where you'd have an advantage with a mouse or anything like that.
Well, at the moment, there's no advantage in having a mouse because of the bullet spray and presumably auto aim. But what they might be saying is that we had to introduce auto aim and bullet spray and perhaps other gameplay mechanics that are more suited for consoles because of their lack of accuracy when firing. Because they're consoles and have controllers. But maybe they're saying that we don't have an accurate aiming system because it's going to be on consoles. Is this cross-platform?
I don't know. I mean, I could see it being cross-platform. Actually, one of the other things that might be keeping in check with consoles could be the party system. You can only have 4 in your party, which is kind of annoying because it'd be nice to have more people. And it might also be the population limits, like when you go into PvP areas and stuff like that. I think there's a pretty low limit on the people that will be within your instance.
I seem to remember TB saying something similar. He was playing the beta as well, or a pre-release of the beta, and he was having a whinge that when he walked around, there seemed to be absolutely nobody around in terms of NPCs, not in terms of player characters. It seemed to be a desolate wasteland. Like there was just nobody about, and I wonder if that's what they're talking about in terms of, graphical.
Maybe
yeah.
There's people about, but nobody you can really interact with in between missions or stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, I'll talk more about it later when we talk about the games we've played. But,
okay.
From this article, I can't see what they mean by it being limited because of console. Because as far as I can tell, the PC beta, like I said, had 4K. The graphics were great. The gameplay was great. I was getting a good frame rate. It's
okay.
It worked
not
fairly well.
FPS.
I'm on an AMD, and they usually have issues with new sort of betas and stuff like that, and mine worked fine. Friends on NVIDIA cards worked fine. I mean, the only issue they had is that it automatically upscaled to 4K when they didn't want it to, and they didn't, because I think Nate Dogg joined us, and he's like, why the hell am I getting such a shitty frame rate? And then he's realised that it's auto upscaled to 4K, even though he didn't want it to be 4K. And he doesn't have a 4K monitor or anything.
Yeah.
That's the only real issue I've seen. But other than that, it looked great.
Fair enough.
Great, yeah.
Maybe I'll get to bash Ubisoft in the games we've been playing section of this podcast.
Probably.
We can
There's
only
plenty to bash them about, but the Division I was very sceptical about, and I've been somewhat mad about.
Just so people know, I haven't played it because A, it's by Ubisoft, and B, it's only on Uplay, and I went, fuck that shit.
No, it's on Steam. I've got
Is it on Steam? Oh,
yeah, that's where I got the beta.
My brother told me that it was only on Uplay. Hang on, is the beta
you launch
only
it though? No, the beta's on Steam. You look up the beta and you'll find it.
Where is it? I just did a search for
It's called
the
the Division beta on Steam.
I just did a search for the Division. The only thing that's come was Tom Clancy's The Division for $61.
Probably
taken it off. Oh, it's probably taken off now because it's finished. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay,
yeah, it finishes in 20 minutes. So.
Okay, well, fair enough. Well, if I'd known that, I might have actually given it a go. But alas,
I mean, in saying that though, when you launch it in Steam, it will launch Uplay for it doesn't go through it, but it uses that for your party.
Ah, fuck this shit.
So you've got a Steam overlay and a Uplay overlay, which is kind of annoying. But
oh, fantastic! This is the GTA 5 overlay issue all over again. Was GTA 5?
I didn't actually have GTA 4 was that Windows Live.
The
shit.
Windows Live. No, I'm thinking of
Wasn't
there a Rockstar one?
They use Uplay. I don't think so.
I thought it was a Rockstar one. There was one I've been looking at recently. No, I'm pretty sure it's
Rockstar had their own
GTA 5.
one.
Yeah, GTA 5 has an overlay.
That's not. Yeah, but it's not Uplay. It's their own.
No, it's not Uplay. It's their own Rockstar overlay thing.
I actually don't. I don't really have that much of an issue with Uplay because now they've actually got voice over Uplay, and it's not too bad. The only problem I had with it was that when we first started using it, it was automatically on, so we'd hear echoes through TS because it's also talking in Uplay. We're like, what the fuck is it? It's like, dude, you're talking in game. So we're all turning off in-game talk, and then we're like, I can still hear you. What the fuck's going on? And then we realized it was a Uplay fucking overlay.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. So probably not limited by consoles, is what we're saying.
Yeah, I don't think I think that's a fallacy. I don't believe that.
Bugger. I always need on it more ammunition when I'm bashing Ubisoft.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're limiting it to 900p because that's the best that the other consoles can get. We want to make it fair. I mean, they're offering 4K to people who can run 4K. So
well, fair enough. Drew, move on.
Yeah.
The HTC Vive is to cost $800 US, and the pre-orders open on the 29th of the 2nd, which is in about a week. Keegz,
I was right. I was fucking right.
Keegz, tell me your argument as to why I should spend $800 US, which is many dollaritos, for a HTC Vive.
I can't justify that, but all I want to say is that I was right because we talked about it in the other podcast and we were talking about how much it's going to cost, and I said I reckon the Vive's probably going to be the same or more because of the new technology. And so I was right. And so far it's rumored that I'm right because it's rumored that it's $800 or leaked with quotation.
No, it's actually they
parentheses.
Confirm it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
I can't even find it. It's gone. So
like,
Vive confirmed it on their blog.
I think that is 100% fair for what it's offering. It is giving you a virtual, basically net.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they are offering. You do get a lot for your $800. Well, you get a lot more than the Oculus for your $800. You get 2 controllers. You get the receiver things. You get the headset, obviously. And you also get 2 free games.
And you can answer the phone on it while you're in VR.
Does that mean I'm gonna hook up my phone to my VR thing? How the fuck's that gonna work?
To be honest, I'm assuming it would be like a VoIP phone or something, like a Wi-Fi phone.
I think it's actually going to probably Bluetooth to your phone, and it pulls the information via Bluetooth and throws it to you.
It's still, I can see people that would be glad about that though. I mean, you're in the middle of a game and the phone rings, like, fuck, I'm so disorientated, and now you can just go, the game will pause and be like, you're getting a call from. I'm like, oh, sweet. Boop.
One of the things I like doing on the phone, though, is being able to walk around and, do things on the phone as opposed to being stranded in one. Well, you can't, though. You're stranded in one spot. You can't move more than 5 or 6 feet from where you are.
You can be happily chatting on the phone while still shooting zombies in VR.
But presumably it's going to pause whatever you're doing.
Oh, well, I'm sure there's an option to not pause it. I mean, it just probably pause it and say, hey, you're getting a phone call, accept the phone call, continue game, and then keep playing while you're talking. And maybe it might even be so futuristic they'll lower the volume so you can hear what they're saying and you can talk to each other. Maybe you can call your friends and play multiplayer VR while on the phone with each other. So the Skype over VR.
Yes, so the 2 games that you get are Job Simulator, which I've actually seen before. It looks really good. If you haven't seen Job Simulator, it's a little bit different to all the other simulator games that you've seen. It's in the same vein, it's got the same style, like the basic things, but there's a lot more things you can do. Like basically everything, every object you can see, everything that you can see, you can do something with. Basically everything in the world does something and usually does multiple things. So I watched not a documentary, but I watched a video on the creation of this game and all of the sort of things they had to program into, because they kept on not focus testing, but like beta testing it, and people kept finding things that they were trying to do and couldn't do, and so they kept on programming in all these extra things that people were trying to do. So yeah, it looks interesting. Look up the trailer. It's an interesting looking trailer, I guess. It's about a guy. I think he has to make a sandwich or something, and he gets a CD and throws it into the CD player, hits the play button, eats a bunch of food, gets the 2 things of bread and some steaks and sticks them on the the pan thing and cooks the toast. The toast pops up and he grabs it out of the air. It's very, very stylized, very interesting. So it's cool. The other one is one called Fantastic Contraption, in which you build a device to go like 5 feet. Like you basically stand and there's a device in front of you, and you stand in the room and sort of pull stuff out of the air and build, like stick wheels on it, and the idea is to make it sort of go a direction. That
actually used to be, this was quite a while ago, that was a Flash game online. It was much more basic. It was just 2D where you can make these weird contraptions with you connect the bits and the motors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's where that came from. And now it's in a 3D world.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, if this was a game that wasn't in 3D, it'd be the most boring. This is a fantastic contraption I'm talking about. Would be the most boring game. Like, it's just an uninteresting game because all you're doing is building something and to make it go across a line. The fact that you can do it in 3D is where all the interest is.
I don't know. Fantastic Contraption was like, because it was quite a while ago, and this was when it first came out. This was many years ago. I'm pretty sure this was maybe even when I was in high school. This came out as a Flash game. And for what it was pretty incredible because you had the freedom to make anything, and the physics within the Flash was pretty good.
Well, yeah, but
for what it was, anyway.
Scrap Simulator does exactly the same thing.
Yeah, but I'm talking before all these games came out. I'm talking way back. Like
that was, yes, that was amazing back then. It's not amazing now, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's why it's been revitalized in VR.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the only interesting part of it is the fact that it's in VR and the fact that you sort of stand around it and build a thing, which is interesting in of itself. It gives you a new aspect of the game. But if you took away the 3D aspect, it'd be a very boring pedestrian game that would not sell.
Yeah, but let's be honest, that's what every VR game is at the moment. It's only interesting because it's in VR, because all of these games that are in VR at the moment have been done before. And
I guess
in much more boring ways, because so far from what I've seen, apart from no, not really. I was going to say apart from maybe Stop Talking Nobody Explodes. Oh, yeah, I guess that is innovative, but apart from that, nothing has really been that innovative. Yeah, it's all just old school games that you can now experience yourself. I mean, that's all they're doing.
Yep.
Things really push the boundaries of what they can do, which makes me excited to think that in the future there are going to be things that we didn't think were going to happen. Like somebody's thought, hey, this would be an interesting way to use VR, and it's going to be mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, every game that I've seen hasn't been anything more than an experience.
Basically tech demos, essentially.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, there are some full-fledged games, but all of them have just been that VR experiences where you're getting the thrill from. It's like, wow, this is amazing that I'm actually here in this room doing this or going through this myself. Whereas you could play the same game without VR and be like, wow, this is a boring piece of shit. You know?
It is. I mean, the Keep Talking Nobody Explodes is probably a case in point in that it was it had an interesting premise, defuse a bomb, but the fact that it was in VR made it interesting. Like without VR, it wasn't. It sold better. Kind
of.
I mean, yeah.
I actually think that Keep Talking Nobody Explodes. The VR didn't make that game. It was the fourth wall where you had an actual booklet with it. That was innovative. That was something I hadn't seen before, that you had a prop with the game. I mean, you could have played that game just as good without the VR, and we did. We've played it before without the VR, where you're just doing it on the screen, and it was still just as amazing. The VR added that extra experience to the person who was diffusing, but I think that it's probably unfair to put this game in the VR category, because the most innovative thing about that was the booklet and the premise of you had two people in the actual room with you, like it was a party game, not a computer game. It was a party game.
It was multifaceted in that respect, in that it was a party game, which is not something you see a lot on PC. It had the hard copy booklet, although it was actually PDF as well. It was in VR. And it was kind of a novel concept, like defusing a bomb. There's not many games around where you defuse bombs.
It's a couch cooperative puzzle game.
But it's not something that there's a lot of on PC. It's something that's mostly tablets and consoles.
It was something that was different, but that also probably was, I'm not going to say its demise, because I'm sure it was still quite popular, but it had a very small demographic of people that got together and played games, because you could do it online, but it wouldn't be the same as doing it in a room. And I think that was kind of, it kind of segregated it from other games because you had to fully experience the enjoyment of it. You had to be in the same room with friends, and let's face it, most people who play games online don't really have that very often unless you're a big board game player or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I think it sort of closed its own demographic, although it was an amazing, innovative and experience of a game. It's
well, fair enough. Yeah, I mean,
I
I guess I can see your point there. I mean, my main point there was that it was not, without VR, it's less of an interesting game. Whereas,
yeah.
you're probably right. It's that wasn't the thing that made it interesting, but it was one of the things that made it interesting.
Yeah.
Like if you take away VR, you've still
it added more to it.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. But then I guess that's sort of coming back to the problem with the VR is that it is just an extra experience on top of an old genre or something else that isn't that exciting. You can just sort of fucking slut it up a bit with VR.
Yep, can only agree there. Alex makes a good point. The old 80s Sierra games had the maps and books on how to play that came with the game.
Yeah, but that was single player.
Well, that's true, but it's the same sort of idea. I mean, none of this is new.
Yeah, I mean, and that's that's great. I mean, I used to play the old. There was some old CD-ROMs, and actually, this is another one that it's probably another reason I really liked. Keep Talking Nobody Explodes is some of my best memories of playing computer games together with my family and family friends. Was we used to have a bunch of the old Sherlock Holmes games that were just on CDs, and you had the booklet and you had the notepad, and we'd all sit around and play the game, and you basically had to solve mysteries together. So you had the street map, you had some information about the suspects and things like that. And all together we'd have to read through all the clues and go to different places in the game, and then talk like together in a room about what we think would happen, and then input that into the game to try and solve the mysteries. So that was probably the first time I've ever really seen a fourth wall. How would you put it? Like all the gameplay is done outside of the computer, and then it's just inputted in, and then the story continues. And that's kind of how I felt with that Keep Talking Nobody Explodes. Is most of the gameplay was outside of the computer, between talking and reading and trying to get it right, and then you just input that information into the game.
It sounds like you had a magical childhood, Keegz.
It was pretty fun.
Family togetherness. You know, I have
playing
5
mysteries.
brothers and sisters. I don't think we ever played a game cooperatively together. Certainly not all 5 of us, and probably not even one other person. So,
it was.
I envy your childhood.
It was my parents and Pugs' parents. We used to
really?
go around together and play it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, so yeah, the HTC Vive costs $800 US. Pre-orders open 27th of the 2nd. In actual Australian dollar dues, that's $1,113 Australian. That's as it is currently, which is the Australian dollars trading to 71 US cents. A couple of days ago, it was actually trading at 60, so that'd be more expensive if you wait, most likely. Plus, you've got to put shipping on top of that, and given the amount of stuff that comes with it, I don't think shipping's going to be cheap. It's going to be an extra $150 on top of that. That's how much it was for the Oculus, at least. So.
Yeah, I want to buy one of these. I think they look great, and I'm probably going to.
I don't think I'm going to buy one.
Yeah,
at least not in their current price, anyway.
Yeah. I'll probably give him one day and be like, fuck it, I want one so bad and I'll buy one.
Yeah. I just don't have the... I mean, I don't have the money. I just don't have the space for the Vive specifically.
Well, I actually do now, because one of my housemates moved out now, which I'm actually going to...
Oh, Jake's moved out, did he?
Yeah. I'm going to move my computer and that into his old room and put some soundproofing in and put up my PlayStation and everything else. I might get a capture card and stuff.
Oh,
and
cool.
so just turn it into a games room, because I've got a couch and everything.
How much soundproofing are you looking to put up? Because I can tell you it's fucking expensive.
Yeah, probably not that much. I just need to get rid of the echoes around the room.
Yeah. I did a quote for soundproofing just one wall of my room, and my room's not very big, it's quite small, and you're looking at 450 to $500.
Yeah, I'm not doing the entire. I don't need to do the entire
No.
wall. I just need to get rid of the echoes. So I think I need. I did look up the panels. They're about $120 for 10 panels or something, and that'd probably that'd probably be enough for what I need.
Okay. Well, that was pretty much all I had about the HTC Vive. Shall we move on to games we've been playing this week?
Sure. Yes.
Sure, let's do that.
Would be a
If
lengthy
you've got any
conversation.
questions, hit us up in the chat right now, or tweet them at us, or send carrier pigeons via your super fast internet that is way faster than our current internet. So, Keegz, what have you been playing this week?
I've been playing quite a few things. I'm actually just looking at Manhunter because he's put up that Manhunt in New York, and I was thinking of a completely different game. I was thinking of the Manhunter that used to be on PlayStation, where you run around and kill people.
Hunt men, in other
I'm thinking of Manhunt. Manhunt.
Oh.
Manhunter. That's where I got confused. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of, not Manhunter, because I'm like, I looked it up and like, wow, this is an old game. This isn't what I was thinking of at all. But no, I was thinking of Manhunt, where you like escape from prison. You have to kill people in really horrible ways. So I'm like, that's a really weird thing for your sister to be reading out sitting next to you. I'm like, yeah.
Oh
Anyway,
my god, I just looked up
well,
Manhunt on Steam, and it is not available in my region. What bullshit is
no,
this?
it's not. It
What?
was banned in Australia.
What bullshit? I feel I need to write an email to somebody. I feel like I should go and pirate this just so I can get a copy, because I don't want to play it, but now that I can't play it, I have to play it.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that good of a game.
Doesn't matter.
Well, what have I been playing? What have I been playing this week?
I don't know. Only you can answer that.
I've been playing Shoppy Keep.
Shoppy Keep? How is that?
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty good. I've sunk quite a bit of time into it already because it's quite relaxing, and I just sort of play it of an afternoon or of a night time when everybody doesn't want to play CS:GO or anything. And look after my medieval shop and build it bigger and stronger every day.
Mm-hmm.
Reviews
Reviews on that are very positive.
Been quite enjoying that. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I mean, if you like, it's pretty grindy, but it's fun. I like
It's got
it.
an interesting art style.
Yeah.
It's sort of
It's-
cel shaded.
Yeah, it's crappy, really. It's just it's crappy graphics, but the gameplay is pretty solid and
Okay.
fun, I guess. If you like buying and selling shit and running a store and killing thieves.
Pete
But, yeah, so I've been
103869 wants to know: do you think we'll see a season pass DLC price increase? I'm guessing. Oh, increase in price like we did with Fallout 4 with other games in the future. Do you mean purely because of the Australian dollar, or do you think there'd just be an Australian tax simply because we live in Australia? That is my question. I've got a question for your question, Pete.
Passing.
While he's writing rebuttal, Keegz, what
If
else
we-
have you been playing?
What else have I been playing? Before, obviously, I've been playing The Division, but there was something else I've been playing. Oh yeah, I've been playing Black Mesa as well.
Oh yeah.
Been playing through that.
So Black
Yeah, that's pretty
Mesa
fun.
is the
The remake of Half-Life 1.
Right, so this is the remake that isn't the remake that I played through in my stream a while back. This actually looks like a nice remake. I'm looking at the pictures going, ooh.
It's really good. It's like Half-Life 2 graphics.
It looks better
but
than Half-Life 2 graphics.
Pretty much, yeah, probably. But they pretty much stuck with the Half-Life 1 story, except that they've changed a few things, made it a bit bigger, made more dialogue. There's actually more people to talk to,
Alright.
which is kind of cool. I think they've even got some of the original actors to do it because, so some of the voices are extremely familiar.
It's
and,
possible that they might have used assets that were actually never used in the game. I know.
Yeah, maybe.
I know some. I can't remember if it was Half-Life 2 specifically, but I know that if you went in and hacked the pack files or whatever it is they used to store all the stuff, there was a bunch of voice assets in there that were never actually used.
No, I think it's more than that. I mean, even at the beginning, I'm thinking about it now from when I played Half-Life 1 originally, and there were fairly short conversations with everybody all the way through. But now, when I played back through it, there's some pretty full-on dialogue that I never remembered in Half-Life 1. Whether they're the same, I think only some of them are from the same actors, though, or the same voice actors, because I know the security guards and that don't sound like the originals, but some of the scientists sound exactly like they were in the original, except they look different.
We boosted the anti-mass spectrometer by 112%. That's what he sounds like.
Well, that whole conversation is a lot longer now. They actually go into more depth about everything and sort of, and even when you're putting the thing in and they're like, when they start up the machine, the scientist is like, we're having no, actually, well, okay, they're within reason, the levels, but no, it's nothing. It's nothing. Don't worry. Do they? I remember it being shorter than that because I remember them saying, something's not quite right, but we'll continue anyway. Go ahead, Gordon.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more dialogue from what I remember than the original one.
Okay.
And there's sort of there's more. That they've added some different mechanics to it. Like when you start off after the incident, you don't get a crowbar for quite a long time. You actually have to pick up things to smash windows with and stuff like that. And you pick up flares and throw them at the zombies to set them on fire if you don't have a weapon yet.
Oh, this sounds awesome.
So
it makes play it now. Does it have multiplayer?
It's actually no, it's only single player.
Okay, it'll still be alright play.
But I started off. I'm about where I'm at the moment. I got to. I'm sort of in the sewery bit now, I think. But I was going to do a couple of videos of it, just some really short, sort of funny ones, sort of like my Firewatch ones, where it's just out of context hilarities because I somehow accidentally made a character of Gordon as if he's the he's a theoretical physicist superhero who wants everybody to know that he has a degree.
Right.
But it's pretty fun though. Like it's enough of Half-Life 1 to be nostalgic, but different enough that you actually still have to think about the game and look at different ways.
Oh, that sounds cool.
It's definitely worth a play. I mean, and just the even the train at the start, you go through all that, and it just looks amazing compared to what you remember. Because even when I got on the train, I'm like, oh, I remember this. You got to go through the whole facility in the train, and you look everywhere. It's like, wow, they really upped the graphics.
Yep. Well, now I'm dying to play.
It's good. I like it. It's pretty fun. I was iffy about it to start with, but then I started playing. I'm like, they put a lot of effort into this.
Okay. Cool. What else have you been playing?
Other than that, I think the only other new stuff is the Division. Obviously, I've been playing the beta for that.
So let's imagine that I know absolutely nothing about the Division. Sum it up for me.
It is a RPG cross cover shooter. It's sort of made to be multiplayer. Like you kind of want to play it as a group of friends. So you can play with up to 4 friends.
Yeah.
It's open world kind of. It's
open world with limits.
It's no, it's sort of drop in and out of instances. So you run around an open world, which is based on New York City, I believe, and it's been overrun by radiation and stuff like that. I think there's been like some sort of nuclear back in the Holocaust, something like that. But you sort of run around and there's NPCs, like random gangs of people and stuff that you shoot at and fight. And then you'll get to missions where you get to the front of the mission and then you can select the difficulty, whether if you don't have a group of 4, you can match make, so it'll find you other players trying to play that same mission and jump them in, like an MMO.
Yeah.
So then you have this sort of safe or mission area where you can run around this big open map and do all these missions. Or you can go into the DZ, which is the dark zone, which becomes PvP. So you can still walk around and find NPCs to shoot at or gear to pick up, which all the gear in the dark zones are generally way better than you'll find in the other zones. But you can kill each other if you see each other, basically.
Cool.
So it's the graphics are great. The gameplay is okay. I mean, I'm not a big cover shooter fan. And because this is also crossed with an RPG, so you're constantly trying to find better gear and loot, which I'm not a huge fan of. But I've been enjoying it, but not enough to, I think, buy into it yet.
Yep.
I think I got to about level 9 before it finished. I played the PvP a little bit, even just while even at the start of the even at the start of the podcast, I was just fucking around by myself, went into PvP and got destroyed. But yeah, I don't know. It's the only thing that I'm worried about, and the only reason I didn't actually want to buy into it is because I found out recently. However, this may only be rumor. In the beta, you can play 2 main missions, which took us a day to do, and apparently, the full game has 10 main missions. So to me, that's like maybe
10 days worth of content.
Yeah, maybe a week worth of content, you know. And then you're just sort of loot grinding and playing PvP, which the PvP is interesting because it doesn't cater for people to just shoot each other, because you go into these massive open areas to try and find loot and kill hard NPCs. But you can shoot each other. However, if you start shooting somebody else when they haven't engaged you first, you will be tagged as rogue, which means that everybody can see where you are and you are tagged anywhere. So people can always see you through walls and whatever and will come after you. And they don't get the rogue status if they start shooting at you. So you basically become a target. And people are hard to drop. So you really have to commit if you want to go into PvP and start shooting other people. Because, for one, they're hard to kill. 2, if you start it, then you get tagged as rogue and everybody else will want to try and kill you because it's free loot. And the other thing is that when you go into the dark zones, you can only pick up, I think it's 6 pieces of loot. And then you have to try and find an extraction point. And what you do is you get to the extraction point, call in the helicopter. Helicopter takes about 3 minutes to come in. Once the helicopter gets there, you put your loot on the helicopter and then it leaves. And if it leaves before it's taken or you die, you get to keep it forever. If you are killed before the helicopter gets there, you lose your loot.
Yeah.
So it's risky, but I don't know. It's risky if you're by yourself, but from what I played, everybody was quite on their own. They're like, we don't want trouble, it's not worth it. So everybody does their own thing without engaging in people. There's always one group that wants to fight everyone. Yeah. But generally, everybody leaves each other alone because it's just not worth the firefight.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things TV complained about with when he played was the damage for killing people was so high.
Oh yeah.
Like trying to kill somebody, like one shot to the head will never do it. You need multiple shots to the head. You need a lot of shots to the head to kill people. And he said that's not particularly realistic.
Yeah, it depends on the guns and stuff. I mean, I had a sniper rifle that killed somebody in 2 shots if I hit them in the head, because it had a headshot bonus for like 200% damage if I hit them in the head. Mm-hmm. You get things like that, but generally other players are hard to kill. NPCs, depending on the difficulty, are fairly easy to hard to. Yeah, it really depends on your weapon. The problem I had that I didn't like is because this is sort of going for the MMO / RPG sort of game, but in a more shooter way, which is fine. It works that way. It works okay. But the thing that I found is I couldn't see longevity in the play, because when you do a mission, You will go through, you have to kill a bunch of enemies, there might be a boss, and then you finish the mission. If you then want to go back and play it on a harder mode, it's the same enemies and same boss, they just have more health. So there isn't any different mechanics in the game or any interesting AIs, or you have, a certain boss that has to be killed in a certain way, or you need different teamwork. You literally just have to shoot them for longer for them to die. So it's not like a party system where, because you have all these different abilities, like you can put down turrets, you can heal people, you can use these scanners and fucking sticky bombs and stuff like that. But none of those are tactical enough that you need to have a specific built group to take on somebody. You just have to shoot them for longer or harder. So,
sounds like a poor gameplay design. Really.
Yeah, and it just, to me, it just feels like, well, this is just going to be from, like, even while I was playing, by the time I'd finished playing, I'm just like, this is already a grind, and I'm only up to level 8.
Yeah.
And it's just constant, you're just shooting more people, finding more gear, shooting more people, shooting them more because they're harder, shooting them less because they're easy now. And, that's how I feel the game's going to be. And the taste they gave us in the beta didn't really concrete my want to buy it, because there wasn't, like, there were a few cool things where they had, like, these flamethrower guys. You could shoot the gas tanks on their back and they'd blow up and stuff like that. I mean, that was cool, but it was still just wave of people coming at you as you move through a building. You move to the next area, there'd be a wave of guys coming, kill them all, move to the next area, another wave of guys coming, kill them all, move to the next area, a boss would come out, kill him, oh, you're done, congratulations, here's some loot.
Yep.
And that's how I feel the game's going to be. But
yep. Was that it? That was your...
Yeah, basically. I mean, unless anybody has any questions about the Division, I mean, as far as I can tell, it's like it's a good looking game. It works as a game, and it was fun, but I was getting bored of it already by the end of the beta. So unless they add a lot more interesting things, I think it's going to be pretty boring. And if the rumor is true that there are only 10 missions, then that says to me, then it's just going to be DLC after DLC after DLC, make it more fleshed out, which I don't. I'm not paying. I think it's like $80 at the moment. I think actually it's 100. Yeah, it's 100. It's 120 if you want the gold edition with the season pass or whatever.
Fucking hell!
Which already says that it's got something in it. So it was too much for me for a short game, or what sounds like a short game, which is then just going to pack more money on top of it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not rushing out to buy it, but I enjoyed it. I'll admit that, and a lot of my friends enjoyed it. But I just can't see any longevity in it. I'm not paying into it for more grinding.
$84 is way too much for a game like this, even as good as it looks. And I dare say it screenshots well. I think it's the game. There isn't enough gameplay there to make me part with $84.
And the screenshots do it justice too. I'll admit that. Like the game looks beautiful, but the problem is you're kind of running around in a lot of beauty for a while to kill a couple of thugs, and then running around a bit more, and then doing a mission, which was kind of boring. And their way of fleshing out missions, like one of the side missions we had to do, which sort of, I guess, added longevity to the beta, was running backwards and forwards across the fucking city to look at basically videos, like 3D videos. They give you like this hologram around you of what happened, and that was their idea of a mission. So we were just running backwards and forwards across this fucking huge ass city, picking up these videos and watching them, going, "What? Really? Is this it?"
Sounds like a fetch quest.
It basically was. It's like, oh, we got some XP. It's like, sweet, cool. I'm back.
Pete 103869 says about the money for Fallout 4. Says not related to the Australian dollar, just in general. The Fallout 4 season pass content was not disclosed until recently when the price jumped up.
I didn't even know there was season pass content for Fallout 4.
I don't. I do vaguely remember someone saying something about it, but I'm afraid I don't know enough about it to say one way or the other. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we get screwed on pricing, or we always do. It just seems to be the way. I mean, there are government inquiries into why this is at the moment, but as for whether or not anything will actually come of it, who knows? So let me just have a look here. Fallout 4 Season Pass is $29, which gives you access to. Wait for my Australian internet. Actually, doesn't say. Someone in chat will know.
Doesn't say.
It doesn't say. It just says Fallout 4 All Access granted Season Pass, and it requires Fallout 4 in order to work. So you're paying whatever the cost of Fallout 4 is, $50, and then $29 on top of that. It just says downloadable content. I'm presuming maybe just the DLCs for it, but who knows how many DLCs there'll be.
What did they even add to it? Just more missions, I guess.
I don't know. I don't think there's anything's been added to it yet. I think it's just you pay for the season pass, and you don't actually get anything
Just
yet.
Pay for the luxury of continuing to play the game.
Not even. Well, I don't think it's even that. I think you're paying for something that will, like, DLC. Let's say the DLCs. There'll be 4 DLCs. They'll cost $10 or $20 or $30 each. You can pay $29 now and maybe get DLCs in the future.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit cack.
Season passes piss me off, which really annoys me because I really want to pre-purchase Hitman because
don't do it, Keegz.
I really want to play it.
Heed your own advice. Don't be a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah, but what even Hitman's gone even worse because they're.
Didn't they do the Deus Ex thing of augment your DLC or augment your pre-order bullshit? Didn't they do something like that?
Sort of. This is what it is at the moment. It's available on the 12th of March. You can pay $15. You get the intro pack, which you'll get introduction to the world of Hitman with a prologue and a Paris episode. You'll get full access to contract modes, escalation mode, elusive targets, and other live content. If you buy the full experience, which is $60, you get everything in Hitman. So you can either buy an intro for $15, and you get to taste a few things of it, or you can just buy the entire game. Because I think originally they were gonna bring it out as episodic. Problem is you have to pre-purchase it if you want to play the beta. It doesn't look like it from their Steam page because you can just pay $60 and it says the full experience gives you everything in Hitman. You'll have access to all locations and all live content.
I think they're still doing episodic content, but if you pay $60, you get all the episodes. They're still releasing it, I'm pretty sure, as episodes. From last I heard, and that was a week ago. But that was what I think TV.
Oh yeah, here we go. Upon release, players have access to the intro pack. Okay, so the intro pack gives you the first bit, and then remaining content will be available as 6 releases periodically throughout 2016.
Yep. I think I'll wait
probably
until
still going. I'm probably still going to buy this game. I'm a huge fan of Hitman, and I actually started watching somebody who got a sneak preview play. And I watched like the first 30 seconds of it. Went, no, I want to play this myself.
Like, I liked the Hitman series. I mean, I don't remember the last one I played was. It was years ago. But I'd actually like to play another Hitman game. I don't want to have to do episodic bullshit in order to play it. I don't want to just pay $80 to play it. I don't like it that much. Like, if I spend more than $40 on a game now, it's basically one of probably 3 or 4 game titles. Like I'd pay more than $40 for the new Bethesda game, like Elder Scrolls game. I'd pay more than $40 for maybe Half-Life 3. I'd pay more than $40 for. God, there isn't much else now I think about it.
Yeah, I'm being a hypocrite because like I'm angry that I have to pay this much and play it this way, but
Yeah.
I'm probably still going to because I really like Hitman.
Yeah. I like the Hitman games, but I haven't played one for ages, so who knows?
I do want to see what it's like gameplay wise because I didn't like the last one.
I think I'd
'Cause it
actually
was
get
kind of-
almost as much out of it by watching someone do a playthrough of it. Someone that I liked do a playthrough of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Um,
Yeah. The thing I find about Hitman though is that you can't really. It's never played the same way, which is
No.
what I kind of like about it. Is there's so many different ways to do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the well, I was going to say the first Assassin's Creed, but that's not really true.
Assassin's Creed.
But yeah, I don't know. I'll probably still buy it though because I love Hitman so much.
You heard it here first, folks. Keegz is a fucking hypocrite. Next time you bring up pre-order bullshit or early access crap, I'm going to be all like, Keegz! Fucking hit me.
I'm doing it so the viewers don't have to. I'll tell them whether it's good or bad game.
You can rationalise it any way you like, Keegz.
I will put my finances on the chopping block for our viewers because that's the kind of guy I am.
Good guy Keegz is playing games, so you don't have to. Gilhermajo, I think that's how you pronounce his or her name, says, What are you guys' favourite PlayStation 1 game? Ooh.
Siphon Filter.
What? Siphon Filter.
Siphon Filter.
I don't think I've ever played it. Let me have a look.
It's amazing, yeah.
Let's see if it's on Steam. No, it's not. Tell me about Siphon Filter.
It's like a third-person shooty game, but it's kind of like the original Splinter Cell, kind of.
Yes. Yep.
That vein of a game.
It sounds
So
familiar. I
around
just don't know
do-
where from.
Sneaky missions and shoot people, and yeah, it was a fun game. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
That and Star Wars. What was it called? It was Star Wars something, but you could play with. You'd play with two people, and it was like it was kind of a side scroller, but more 3D. What was it called? Star Wars something. Yeah, I'll look it up. You say yours.
I'm doing it right now. That's episode 1. List of Star Wars games. Here we go. Star Wars Rebels? No. Rebel Assault, X-Wing, Rogue Squadron, Starfighter, Jedi Knight, Battlefront, Racing, Knights of the Old Republic, Galaxies, Force Unleashed, Lego Star Wars, Galactic Battlegrounds, Empire at War, Star Wars Pinball. I think that's all the Star Wars games. Let's look at 1990s.
Yeah, there it is.
It's for Windows.
Jedi
PlayStation.
Power Battles. Jedi Power Battles is what it's called.
Jedi Power Battles. That's not even on my list.
Yeah.
No, it isn't
Awesome
actually on my
game.
list. What? When was this released?
Star Wars Jedi Power Battles. That was an amazing game.
Oh, okay. Here we go. March 31st, 2000. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Never played that either.
He had heaps of fun. Me, Pugs, and his brother used to play it all the time.
I'm trying to think games I played on the PlayStation 1. The problem is with the PlayStation 1 is right at the point where I was getting into PC, well, just before I got into PC gaming, so we didn't have a PlayStation 1 for very long. I maybe had one for a year. Secondhand. What do you call it? It was chipped, the microchip, so you could play.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the name games on it?
I'm pretty sure everybody had those.
Yeah, it was one of those things that everybody always knew somebody who could do it for you. I'm struggling. We played a lot of V-Rally. Played a fair amount of... What was the game that got released with the PlayStation 1? The car game. Not Need for Speed. Gran Turismo. Yeah, we played the crap out of Gran Turismo. Although, to be honest, there wasn't a lot of... You're basically just racing a car around and around. Which is kind of what V-Rally was, I guess. Played a lot about Crash Bandicoot.
Yes.
A little bit of Abe's Odyssey.
Oh yeah, I played Abe's Odyssey. I like that game too.
It was interesting. We played the original Solid Snake game.
Yes. Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid. That's it. Yep. The bit my abiding memory of Metal Gear Solid is beating the living fuck out of somebody, like walking up to somebody behind somebody, beating the living fuck out of them, and then hiding under a box. He turns around and goes, "Who the fuck was that?" And then he turns around again and you get the shit out of him again.
Snake.
Yeah, I don't really have a favourite game from the PlayStation. Like, I was never really a big console player.
I never actually had a PlayStation when I was growing up. I always played it at my friend's house. I never had one myself.
Driver 2. I played the original Driver on PC, and that was amazing. Mostly because of the rain, the reflection effects on the road. I used to just drive around in the original Driver and just drive around, doing donuts and being a fool. I don't actually
Midtown Madness too.
I don't actually really remember what the point of that game was. I just remember driving around in a black car doing donuts.
I'm pretty sure you could get out of the car and Driver 2 and shoot people, couldn't you? That's when they changed it up. Oh, what was the one that came out after Driver that everybody was super impressed about? It was like was it like The Job or the Bust or something. It was like a rip off of the Italian Job, and you got out. You drove around like Driver, but then you get out of the car and start shooting people and doing bank robberies and stuff.
Right.
No, can't remember what it's called. I'm pretty sure it was called The Job or something like that. Anyway,
I'm googling it now.
I just had a weird flashback of playing that game, being like, "Wow, this is amazing."
Somebody in chat will know. I would guarantee it. They'll be like, "Oh, I know what game you're talking about."
Yeah.
Oh, you're a police officer that was undercover trying to arrest car thieves. Is that what you did in Driver? I don't think I ever did that. I think I just drove around.
Yeah, fuck, I don't remember it. I just remember driving around the parking lot and struggling to... Because you press the burnout button and you just keep doing circles.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did. It was fun, though. Okay, well, I think that covers about all the questions. Oh, what have I been playing this week? Well, thanks for asking me. What have I been playing?
What have you been playing, Xenon?
I installed and fired up The Sims 3 and had a bash at that, simply because I wanted to build some shit. Like, build a house. I made a guy that didn't have a job. He just sat at home and painted and wrote stories. And basically just built his house. That was pretty much my thing there. I played it probably 5 nights in a row, like 3 or 4 hours at a time, and then went, yep, I'm done with that. Probably uninstall it now, so... I tried to fire up Grand Theft Auto 5, but my PC's developed an issue where after about 5 minutes of playing it'll crash, and it's something to do with the graphics settings, because I initially figured out which graphics setting it was causing it to crash, and just turned it down. I think it was like water reflections or something. But then I accidentally turned all the settings, or reset the settings back to defaults, and it turned them all the way back up, and now it crashes again. So, but more interesting than that, I actually tried to join a GTA online session. Couldn't do it. Something was wrong there. I don't know if it's an ongoing issue or whether it's just me, but I could not join. It just sat there trying to join for ages and eventually timed out and said, no, you can't join. So that was a bit shit. I played a little bit of Tharsis. They have pretty much patched that so it's now beatable. You can actually win. So if you haven't played Tharsis,
I might try it now.
Yeah, like the weekend after they patched it, I went from winning no games to winning about 50% of the games. Probably more than 50%, probably like 60 to 70%. And now I can basically win about 80% of the games that I play. But to the point now I've just stopped playing it because I've unlocked all the characters. And it's no longer fun. It's basically just do this every time and you're almost guaranteed to win. So played Rocket League, obviously. I haven't played any Deus Ex Revision. Actually, I do play some Deus Ex Revision. I've recorded some. I'm actually stuck on I've got recordings of it waiting to be finished being edited. I've got some post-production stuff to do on them, but they're basically just sitting there. I haven't found time to actually sit down and do them yet. Play a little bit of Scrap Mechanic just to see if they've changed anything or if they've fixed the bug with the suspension. If you've got too many suspension things on screen at once, the gameplay chugs out and it becomes unplayable pretty much. I installed American Truck Simulator. That was fun.
Really?
I've actually found that American Truck Simulator is a really boring game to play if you follow the rules. If you follow the rules like speed limits and slowing down and actually delivering shit where you're supposed to, it's a really clunky and boring game to play. If you basically just go, what's the farthest I can travel, or doing, what's point A to point B, I need to go somewhere, and just haul your thing, and basically just ignore the speed limits, go as fast as you can, even through towns and stuff, you're trying to barge your way around, around people and, running red lights and shit, makes it a much more interesting game. It's basically a game of how much speed can you maintain going through various places, and it's actually a much more interesting game that way. So now I basically just ignore speed limits, ignore red lights, ignore drivers, drive on the wrong side of the road if you have to, see how fast you can get to the other place.
Have you tried the red light glitch, where if you indicate, you don't get penalised for going through red light?
I know there's a option, if you indicate, you can turn right on a red light, which is legal in America. If there's a red light, you can actually turn right if you indicate. In Australia, and I think most of the places in the world, you can't do that. But I don't know if you can just hammer through an intersection if you have your indicator on.
Sideways with a trailer.
Jackknifing the whole way.
I think you can indicate through red lights in America?
Yeah, you can turn right on a red light in America.
The fuck?
It's actually a really smart idea. It's an interesting idea, because if you're going with the flow of traffic, you can actually see what's coming and just go out into traffic. You're not going across an intersection. You're just going through an intersection, essentially.
But then who's in the fault if?
Well, you would be.
Yeah.
Your idea. The idea is you have to stop and obviously wait for other cars. But if it's free, then you can just go.
That's crazy.
Which kind of makes sense. I mean, I kind of understand really why we don't. I mean, obviously turn.
Americans crazy.
You obviously have to do turn left here because we're driving on the other side of the road and steering wheel's on the other side. But if you're in an intersection and there's cars going past you, there's no reason why you can't turn left, assuming that there's no one else turning left and you're not going to run somebody over. So it's I see the merits of it, but yeah, I also understand why we don't have it. So.
Crazy.
But the main thing I've actually been playing this week, and I've been playing it on stream, is Soma. If you don't know what Soma is, it's a sci-fi horror. It says horror, but to be honest, it's pretty light on the horror elements. It's a sci-fi horror game where you play as a guy called Simon Jarrett, I think is his name. Apparently there's nudity in it, but I haven't seen any. There's apparently blood in it, although it's pretty tame. It's supposed to be scary. It's not particularly scary. Or at least I don't find it scary.
This is the same people who made Amnesia, yeah?
Yes, same people who made Amnesia, and same people who made the other game whose name I can't think of at the moment.
Amnesia.
Yeah, they made another game before that.
Okay.
All the games they've made are in the same vein. They all use the same engine. Penumbra is the other game. It's got an 84 out of 100 on Metacritic, if you trust Metacritic reviews. User reviews are overwhelmingly positive, and there's actually 4,500 of them. Graphics in this are really good. They're not the best I've seen, but they're pretty bloody good. It runs extremely well. I don't think I've ever seen anything dip under 60 frames per second. And I've got everything cranked up to the max. What else can I say? Gameplay. It's almost a walking simulator. You basically walk around to find the next bit that you have to do, and it's usually just opening a door or flicking a switch. There's no gunplay really. There is one point where so far that I've had to tase one of the robots. It's basically a game about questioning what is consciousness, essentially. It's kind of, yeah, I mean, the guy talks constantly to this other person who's had their brain, is the brain scan of consciousness of someone else, which is kind of weird to explain, but it sort of makes more sense when you're actually in the game. But yeah, if you want to know more about it, I'm probably going to do another stream tomorrow, so come and jump in on my stream and watch.
Cool.
I'll give you the blurb about it. Soma is a sci-fi horror game from frictional games, created Amnesia, blah blah blah. An unsettling story about identity, consciousness, and what it means to be human. The radio is dead, the food is running out, and the machines have started to think they're people. Underwater facility Pathos 2 has suffered an intolerable isolation intolerable isolation. And we're going to have to make some tough decisions. What can be done? What makes sense? What's left to fight for? The basic premise of this game, and spoilers if you actually want to play this game, I shall put up spoilers now. The basic premises of this game is that you start off in 2015 and you're a guy who had brain damage because you were in a car accident. You go to a guy that is going to scan your brain to try and help you, some sort of experimental thing to try and help you recover from your brain injuries because you're getting headaches and stuff. So what happens is that you go and sit in this guy's chair and he starts scanning your brain, and then your point of view immediately flips to about 100 years in the future, where you're no longer playing as Simon, the human guy. You're actually playing as the consciousness that they scanned, and they put it into a robot. But he can't tell he's a robot because his brain won't let him accept that he is actually a robot. He still thinks he's a person. So he basically finds himself 100 years in the future in underwater in a power plant that's failing. There's been a catastrophic event. A comet hit the Earth and made the surface of the Earth uninhabitable. So I think the idea is everybody's moved underwater. The survivors have moved underwater, or into space. It's unclear at this stage. And you're basically trying to figure out why nobody else is around and what has happened. Basically, it seems like everybody else has left. Like there's no other people to talk to apart from this one other consciousness called Catherine, who was actually someone who created a virtual world for all these consciousnesses, these scanned consciousnesses to live in.
Matrix.
Yeah, it's kind of Matrix-like, and it's sort of like you're trying to get into that consciousness so that you can, be in a much nicer place. That's about as far as I've got so far. So there's a lot of other stuff that's going on as well, but it's pretty cool. I actually quite like it. It's a well-made game. It's a bit of a walking simulator. Like there's not a lot of action going on, but you do constantly get chased by these bad guys that are shock you and. Yeah, it's a good game.
I can already guess how it's probably going to end, and if it ends the way I think it is, it's going to annoy me.
Why?
Because it's going to be one of those things where he just wakes up and he's back where he was.
I thought about that.
I can feel it.
It's possible, I guess.
I can feel it.
I think what's actually
going to happen...
It'll
be all while he's been scanned or something. It'll just be like a whole thing that just happened in his brain.
I think what's going to happen...
Me off if that's
I think what's going to happen is they're actually inside a AI, like inside a Matrix already. So he's not actually in the real world. He's actually having to do all this stuff to give him something to do. So we'll wait and see.
If he wakes up in the chair in the doctor's office, then that's a fucking cop-out.
There will be a cop out. I'll be a little bit pissed, but we'll wait and see. I shall turn spoiler image off. Okay, cool. So that's what I've been playing this week. Anything else? Yay! Oh, Guilherme Joe is leaving. So see you later,
Bye.
Dude. Cool. All right. Well, unless you've got anything else, I think we'll probably call it there.
Yep, I think it's late enough, and we've talked enough. And
we've actually talked for 2 hours and 40 minutes. This will almost be our longest podcast. If we keep going for another couple of minutes, it probably will be.
Alright, what else can we talk about?
If you've got any other questions, hit us up now. Otherwise, we shall end the stream. What have you got coming up on your channel, Keegz?
Probably just some of the Black Mesa stuff.
I'm actually interested to see that stuff. That'd be good.
Mine won't. The videos I will be making in the near future probably won't be any sort of game, well, not any sort of walkthrough or spoilers.
No. But I'm interested to just see what it's like and see the funny bits.
I think it'll be more like supercut funny things, much like I did in that Firewatch vid.
Yep.
I believe is my future at the moment, just because I'm considering I can't stream. I might just sit back and play some of the games I keep meaning to and just cut all the funny bits out.
Yep.
And plus this last week I really haven't had time to do anything. I've been flat out. So
Cool.
got some things happening at home which is making things difficult. But
Always
hopefully next week hopefully next week I'll be able to get some time to sit down and go through a bunch of videos. I started recording The Division, and I recorded about 2 hours of it, and then I stopped because it's really not interesting. It's literally me.
Yeah.
It's just me going through loot, going, is this better than what I have? Should I sell this? Yeah, I'll keep this. No, I'll keep this. Okay, all right, let's go to the next bit. Oh, more loot. All right, should I keep this? No, I should probably get rid of this.
It's much the same thing.
2 hours of that.
Yeah. Yeah, some games don't lend themselves to being recorded, like to playthroughs or even to like funny moments, really.
Yeah, I was hoping there'd be glitches and stuff like that, but they're really. I mean, there's maybe 2 bits that I sort of went, that's kind of funny, but yeah, no. I have been recording my Shoppy Kick playthrough though. I'll make a sort of little video about that, about my shop I've been building and the pile of bodies that is slowly building up in my backstore of all the thieves that are trying to steal my stuff.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool. So you can check out Keegz' YouTube channel at youtube.com/user/KeegleGaming. Can you go to youtube.com/KeegleGaming?
Yeah.
I thought that's what I put in,
yeah.
but it's put user in there for some reason. Yes, you can. youtube.com/KeegleGaming. Coming up on my channel this week, you'll probably get an Armour video probably on Wednesday. You might get a Deus Ex video maybe later on in the week. It's getting difficult to actually do those. I'm still recording it. I am going to finish it, but it's actually getting a little bit difficult to actually get those done at the moment. So I'll probably going to do a stream tomorrow of Soma for a couple of hours. That'll probably be in about 10 hours or so, thereabouts, 10 or 11 hours from now. That's probably about it. I might do another stream later on in the week, maybe on Friday. It really depends on how things are going. I can't, at the moment, it's too difficult to commit to anything at the moment, so yeah, that's basically what's going on my channel. Nobody's got any other questions,
good
so
chance.
That's good. Alright, well, if you want to know more about us, check out our channels, check out our Reddit, which is reddit.com/WePlay. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
You can also, Keegz also uploads all of our podcasts to SoundCloud. So if you want to listen to them perhaps while you're in the car or, I don't know, while you're jogging or something, go to soundcloud.com/WePlay Podcast.
Yeah.
And also, obviously, you can check out the podcast after the fact on my channel, youtube.com/Xenon3D, where you'll find all of my content. Also check out our Twitters at Xenon_ST and at Keegz Kegel. On my Twitter, I basically keep a running, commentary on what's being uploaded. So if you want to be notified when new stuff is out, follow me on Twitter. That's basically where you'll find my stuff. Otherwise, just check out my channel whenever you're online. Anything else, Keegz, before we go?
No, I think I'm done.
You done? Stick a fork in you?
I'm sleepy.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool. I'm pretty tired as well. Alright, thanks very much for watching, everybody, and we shall see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.